Ba-dum, ba-dum.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Is there anybody even in the chat?
Nope.
We have 0 people watching right now.
Has it been a month?
More
That's
than that.
longer than a month. The last
Longer,
week-
really?
We went live before May 4th. That was the last time we went live, right?
That was May the 4th
Oh.
weekend with Brad when we were at his house that we went. But when just from our house, it was like the
2 weeks
beginning
before
of
that,
April.
yeah.
There's Brad.
Oh, there we go.
There he is.
Oh, dude, we were worried about you. Like your
Dude,
phone went straight to
There
voicemail.
he is.
Look, I told you he was
What?
shaving his balls, man.
Was it going to voicemail? Hey guys, things have been crazy, but it's good to be back.
Yeah.
It's been
We
a-
got
it's been a while.
word for a sec because your phone was going straight to voicemail.
I don't
Yeah, what's
know
going
where
on with that?
right now. So
It's all good.
I'm dead? Yeah.
Look at that dad hat that Brad's wearing though.
The dad.
yeah.
Is everyone's screen a lot darker than usual today for some reason?
Also new laptop, so new settings, and I didn't have time to dial in. I don't have my key lights on.
That's why. I thought it was my OLED screen needed calibration or my camera was being weird today.
No,
I had a
no,
bump with the ISO on mine.
I didn't have time to freshen up or do the lighting or anything like that. But I'm here. I'm here. I made it.
Yes.
You made it in.
We're here.
We didn't even start doing anything yet. We were just kind of like reviewing, not even reviewing, just reminiscing. When was the last time we were
Okay,
live?
here's my key light.
The last time we were live was your house, but
It
the
seems
last
like
time
a long time ago.
that was
Yes.
But the last time like we were just live with like this was like in April at some point. I think it was before Easter.
Probably.
Was it Easter
We
in
did the
April?
Easter stream. I remember there was an Easter stream because I remember the Cthulhu thumbnail.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. There was. We streamed Easter night actually because I'm a Jew.
Converted.
Hey,
That's right. Forgot about that.
Okay, I got my key
yeah.
lights on. Now I look more normal. It's like, what
I
the
mean,
hell?
there's been a lot that has gone on in this in the past month.
Oh yeah, for everybody.
Dude, I'm still riding high off of hanging out with you guys May the 4th weekend.
I still got the scar to show.
People don't even know what happened.
Okay.
Nobody knows what happened.
So let's talk about that. That was a funny ass adventure. So we went to Brad's house to visit him in person and check out the cool arcade and stuff. And for the first 2 days, everything was great. We went to arcades, we went to bars, we went to questionable places. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the strip clubs in Baltimore.
For the record, we only went to one.
We
Yeah, with the
It wasn't one.
Ray really
Don't paint a
wanted to
weird
go
picture
back
here.
for the record.
Yeah,
he really
it's,
wanted to go back.
Okay, so the crowd, the employee quality control in Baltimore is a far cry from what you'll find in New York. Like we're talking like 30 to 40, double single moms. It's quite interesting,
A lot of party faces.
and it was extremely expensive compared to New York, which is actually kind of shocking.
Really?
For a lap dance, the amount that it was like $50.
That's really something because I paid for most of your all's lap dances.
Exactly. That's how we know.
Right. Yeah.
We bought you one too, but we didn't know that the girl was your old friend. She would have done it for free. So wasted our $50.
Sure, but the tips help. So
Yeah. But I was like, okay, fine.
What's up, sweet angel of death?
Cool.
yeah, it was
Oh,
awesome
that's-
having you guys down here and showing you Crabtown and the Peabody Heights Brewery, the new Dugout Arcade they had just opened up. So glad you guys.
Oh
got-
yeah, what was the one with that new video game that we were playing? That it was a really simple one. It was like Joust. What's that?
That was
that-
Peabody, no?
Yeah, the Peabody Heights Brewery. No, they had Killer Bee.
Killer Bee. No,
Killer
Killer
Bee.
Queen.
Queen. Right, Killer
Yeah.
Queen.
That was the old Orioles practice house, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the second one we went to. Okay.
Yeah, that game was really awesome. And unfortunately, it's
know
not emulated or available
Well,
on Steam.
We played what was the what do you call it? What was the game we played? Death Ball.
Death
Oh,
Ball.
yeah,
Death
the
Ball.
gas
Yeah.
rolling one. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the Endless Runner with the motorcycle, like Black Knight, I think it is. But
Oh, yeah,
these are like modern games. I saw a few of these games at Jupiter Bar in Seattle recently too. So this is like a new thing. So like modern arcades, stop thinking like, well, stop. No, different than like what you see in Dave and Buster's. You're gonna see more stuff like the they're almost like mobile games, but big with dedicated controls, like a big roller wheel or just
Giant button.
Yeah, left and right with only one giant button. But
What was
it's very
the roller
dedicated
wheel
graphics.
game called again?
The Endless Runner. I think it was like Black
Endless
Knight.
Runner. NS Runner. There you go. Okay, yeah.
I gotta look. I have it on
That
my.
was strangely addictive.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
also, the faster you went with the
Simple.
motorcycle, the fans kicked on and blew faster, like
Yeah.
harder in your face. It was like it's these little immersion things. It's like, oh, the games were very simple. These games, they're very simple in concept and in control, but they were kind of addictive. And they had these little features like the fans, where Deathball had the second screen on top for people to watch, kind of like the old Dragon's Lair.
I got an echo. You got an echo?
Oh, sorry. I was just trying something. Sorry, that because whatchamacallit, Brad's
When you said you got an echo, you were echoing.
range. No, Brad's sound is coming a little strange on my side.
Hang on,
Are you
Brad,
using
hang on,
this
hang on,
mic?
wait. Vic, say Mario.
Again, I saw you doing this with She Lion.
All right, no, because when you were talking a minute ago, there
Mario.
was an echo from you. Brad, just go ahead, say something.
Testing.
All right, the echo's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah, so keep going, Brad. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying these arcades are they're simple, but they're addictive. And they all have like a little niche. You remember in Deathball, there was Deathball was 2-player only. So the first time I tried it, I was like, I don't get it because like nothing happened. And then I was playing with Joel, like, oh, it's 2-player only.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then Killer Queen, it was 2 4-player cabinets, but you couldn't play versus on the same cabinet. It had to be if there's only 2 people playing, so it'd be 1 person on each cabinet. So
Yeah, it was a linked play game basically.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't know.
like,
This was
mandatory.
Peabody.
Yeah, so this is this is a Peabody Heights Brewery in Baltimore, and they have a new arcade in the back called the Dugout. So it's but I also saw these, like I said, at Jupiter Bar in Seattle, which had the same kind of vibe that Peabody Heights did, like new arcades. That's the bar in Seattle where I found House of the Gun Dead with the Sinden guns in it.
Mm.
So these all actually had a really similar build quality too. The felt like the same materials. There was lightweight, of course, big LCD screens in them and stuff. But this is like it's almost like homebrew arcades. These are arcade only. They're not ports. They're not emulations.
Indie
Not
arcade.
something we can emulate. So
That's a good way. Yeah, indie arcade.
arcades.
That's a good way.
Indie
Yeah,
arcades.
yeah. So you still have of course, and then I was just at Ocean City, Maryland, which is my old school arcade. That's the one where my trilogy came from. When I was a kid, that's where you went to see the new game. That's the first time I saw Dragon's Lair. That's the first time I saw Star Wars Trilogy. Was at the big arcades down at Ocean City's Boardwalk. So I went back there recently, and I had, of course, it's not the same kind of thing. The arcades are still there, but it's mostly ticket games and redemption games. But I did have that experience because there was the new Fast and Furious Giant Deluxe with the 2 stacked vertical screens stacked on top of each other, the motion chair, and then the new light gun game, Killer Shot. I have to look it up, but Retro Ralph saw one at an expo.
Crack Shot, I think.
Yeah, Crack Shot, and the guns are pneumatic. There's an air. They're like compressed air. They're pneumatic on those. So these are the cutting edge arcade games that are still in my cutting edge arcade over in Ocean City. So, but those are what I expect. The big showcase arcades, like the Raw Thrills and the stuff like that. But these little bars are getting these like homebrew arcades, like House of the Gun Dead and Killer Queen and Deathball, and it's awesome. I want to see more of it. So
Yeah, it was totally awesome. Now, Brad, I mean, what you're seeing on the Ocean City Boardwalk, you're not seeing any of the old retro games, man. There's a business idea.
it's you. There's I saw quite a few Class of '81 cabinets, which is a retro game, but that cabinet is from like 2003, I think. So
Right.
it's still CRT. But yeah, there was a few of those, and then I still see the occasional Dead Storm Pirates or Jurassic Park. And then
games.
yeah, the newer. Well, sorry, newer.
Oh,
I
really?
guess it's new now, like newer Raw Thrills. But yeah, probably is going back as far as Dead Storm Pirates. Then anything newer than that, I would still see those. But they're looking for the big environmental, the cockpit version. So like they're keeping like what's the other one? Oh, Dark Escape and the Namco 357 games. I'm
Right.
still seeing those in environmental in arcades. But in the way of like the traditional games, yeah, like not a lot. It's you have to go to a place that's specializing in it. So you guys saw Crabtown, which was nothing but the old games.
Yeah,
Right.
but like
But half the
40%
controls
is broken. Yeah.
I was just gonna say. So like my
Way to take my
point of view,
quarters.
my quick question to you guys is what would you think? How would you feel if we were able to play those old games, but you knew it was emulated?
Oh, that's a good question for the chat.
There's a new FPGA that's coming
Oh,
out
side note.
from
Caboose, he mentioned Spinners is supposed to reopen. I didn't know they closed. That's an amazing arcade in Frederick. If you come back next time, we're going to Frederick because there's some cool arcades, including Spinners. But anyway, go on.
there's a new FPGA clone coming out from Taki Udon, actually, that YouTuber. He's having it made. It's apparently going to drop the price down to like $150, but then it will be emulating the original board and the console itself, not the game. So it's supposed to be a one-to-one perfect experience.
Really?
And it will have HDMI output. So
Can't we do that on the Misters already? Doesn't the Mister?
Yeah, it is a Mister. It's a Mister, but a cheaper version. Currently, Mister's very
you can
expensive.
mass produce or like mass consume as well. No, here's the thing though. Like when it comes to the FPGA console, I was like emulation. Of course, FPGA those were being used for console emulation, and more so. That's where that's where you more hear about it was the console emulation. But you're right. It's the perfect. It's the perfect emulation versus the imperfect software emulation. But if you guys are talking about like saying like, hey, let's set up an arcade that it's all based on emulation, right, of classic titles. We're talking about for regular customers for the mass market. Do you really think people notice the difference between?
No.
Yeah.
So my second part to the question is like that, right? Like I said, I wanted to open up a bar. I wanted to do it. We went to those two places and like immediately once like Brad mentioned just now, like Ray was like the buttons are broken and then CRTs are out. So it's like, imagine, I don't want to say game room solutions, but just imagine like you had a bunch of GRS cabs and then, would you be frowned upon and not put money in it? Or would you like still go and be like, oh, I could play some Tekken. Like I'll go play Marvel versus Capcom. Like
no,
I wouldn't mind.
Pay to play a multicade. I wouldn't play a Pandora's box, but if something was like, mention, I'm sure we're going to talk more about this because we have lots to talk about, but let's say somebody made a dedicated cab, like maybe giant super sprint or something, a 1-to-1, but it was brand new controls, LCD screen. I would play it and I wouldn't care. I would love it. Everything works. The pedal works. The potentiometers are still responsive. I'd be all about it. But if you put me in front of a Pandora's box and I've got a Street Fighter control layout and I'm trying to figure out how to play Smash TV on it,
no,
you got it. Right, correct.
No,
you got it.
if you're gonna do emulation on a cabinet, I was talking to you guys about this earlier in the month, throwing around the idea when I'm going to open up an arcade, throwing the idea out there for emulation on a cabinet. You got to make the cabinet dedicated to the game.
No, dedicated
to that style of game.
Yeah,
one or the other,
right?
So that you can also
generic fighter cabinet, and you only lock it to one game each time. So in big box, you put it in kiosk mode.
What I learned is that the Mortal Kombat controls are different from the Street Fighter controls when it comes to that layout. Like you can't, like Street Fighter up top is 1, 2, 3, and then the bottom is 4, 5, and 6 for your high punches and your low kick and your kicks. And Mortal Kombat isn't like that at all. Mortal Kombat is high kick, low, or high punch, low punch, high kick, low kick on 1, 2, 3, 4, up and down. So you would have to redo the controls.
And the center is block.
And the center is block, right?
So you would have a dedicated Mortal Kombat cab.
Exactly. You would have to have a dedicated MK cab for something like that. Now, the Konami cabs for like Sunset Riders, Ninja Turtles, things like that, you can make one straight up layout like that. And the same thing with the Taito games or the Taito, however you want to say it, for like Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3 and your Bubble Bobbles and shit. You can do that all on something like that too.
Hey, Eric.
Honestly, I don't think anybody would notice the difference between emulation and the real PCB if you're standing inside an arcade playing it, especially if the cab is made to look like the real arcade cabinet.
And then but what you would notice is like what Vic was saying is like, oh, well, that one's the original. Like, the original one doesn't work. So it's like,
well, the other thing also is if we did, let's say you did LCD, like me personally at the arcades that we went to, seeing the CRT, it changes everything.
It does.
But then it's like, remember Ron was playing MVC2, but then like the green was out. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like I like CRT, but there's so much maintenance to CRT.
Mm-hmm. And it's more expensive to get it in too.
And we were playing X-Men 4-player. And
you want to talk about
on the LCD screen was fine.
I was going to branch to this early. Side note, since we're talking about the pain in the ass of like real arcades and like like maintaining them and stuff. Like, it's an LCD. It doesn't have the greatest refresh rate. Oh no, the aspect ratio is wrong. But you know what? It's a lot better than this. Okay, bear with me, guys. This is really.
Oh, when he turns on his Street Fighter and he's got to warm up the CRT.
This is really heavy.
Oh shit!
Nobody wants this.
Yeah,
nobody wants the all around one of these. Okay, this is a 25-inch Wells Gardner, and No,
It's like 70
this
pounds.
is a sickness that I have to have one of these, but I do. But you shouldn't have to have one.
Not to mention though, Brad, how much did you tell the viewers how much you paid for that screen?
That was $300 recap.
$300 for the CRT.
And I was lucky to get it.
Compared to
yes.
compared to a what $150 LCD screen.
Oh, that's a really good LCD.
Or if you really want to do the LCD screen, you can just get the Unico 26-inch if you got to do the 4.3.
Yeah, if you want a 4.3, but if you wanted, like, again, people are like saying like, oh, well, like even if you just went like widescreen and
you can bezel it
on it or something.
Yeah, you can put bezels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also OLEDs have dropped so much. If you wanted to get like a 1 millisecond refresh time, that's fucking possible now with an OLED.
Right.
That's very, very close to the point where you can't tell. It's competitive. But it's already to competitive standards.
But like I said, we were playing that X-Men 4 player, and that was a flat screen LCD screen inside it. It was a flat screen mod
yes.
inside of the original cabinet.
Yeah.
None of us gave a shit while we were playing.
It looked great.
No, not to mention we were playing on an actual Konami cab. That was
and I know somebody. There's a bar, Lyman's Tavern in DC. They had a 6-man, right?
Right.
But it was the CRT was broken. This. So they actually, just salvaged the pedestal, the 6 players, and they made a custom back box that held a big widescreen TV. And they used
Peabody has a 6-player.
Yeah, they use MAME to just put the 2 screens on one big display. Right. And like, I didn't care.
Right.
Right. There you go. Well, Peabody's got the 6-player too, the 6-player X-Men.
Yeah.
And that's got the flat screens inside it.
Yep.
I was playing that. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I would think like to do
6-men. The CRT with the 6-men, of course, everyone knows there's mirrors where it gets rid of the border between the 2 screens to make a big widescreen. What I didn't realize till I was actually looking at one, not only is it a monster cabinet, but one of the CRTs is in it facing up, and the other is traditional facing at you, which means there's a big bump out of the one side of the back of the 6-men.
Oh, shit.
So that giant 6-man can't even sit flush up against a wall.
Oh, shit.
You always see a 6-man at the end of an aisle or part of a cluster because there's a giant tube coming out the back of it still.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, you could buy Vic pedestals, just make generic like fighters and then racers, whatever, and then you don't even have to worry about like enclosing the TV into the cabinet. If you need to, if some kid fucks it up, you can just unplug the TV and plug in a new one. It's a lot easier to maintain that way.
That's what I went with the back in 2020. I made my gun cart where you just roll it up and plug it into an HDMI, and that was a space saver because I was in a small house. But it's like the logic still stands. Right. You can put it on whatever size screen you want. The
big thing is like if we do like I said, Joe's got the idea. I kind of have an idea too. Like I want to do a pinball bar and all that. Just in case. In all honesty, we wouldn't be able to charge for the games if you know what I mean.
You can charge for free play to get into the room.
Right. So that's number one. So what I was getting at right now, I was like, let's say we went to an arcade and we had to pay for the quarter, but we did see LCD screens. We saw like generic pedestals. I guess the first question is, would you pay? Would you pay to play it?
Yeah.
Kind of. And number two is, would you be a reoccurring person going like weekly? You know what I mean?
So on that second note, I would asterisk. I wouldn't just for the games. I would if it was a cool place.
Environment.
I was hanging out. Again, you're paying to be in the space, and if it's a cool space, like for example, I saw not long ago, somebody had done open an arcade in Tennessee or some shit, and the arcade was literally made up of arcade 1-ups.
Yeah.
And you paid to get in there. And I knowing arcade 1-ups and having, of course, I had a few at the time. I was like, I wouldn't pay to go into a place and play arcade 1-ups. But I had thought about it. And it's like, is it because they were cheap or because they were, but no, the lineup of arcade 1-up games weren't compelling enough to bring me back. It was, a bunch of copies of Pac-Man and, this is this. And then it was also the multicade. Every single one of the arcade 1-ups was a multicade. And
you can't do that to a person.
You got to. If I was going to go that route, it was kind of cool with the multi-case setup. I would put one game, and then after a week, you swap it.
Yeah.
But there ain't no way that I'm going to let a customer exit, scroll through, pick a game. You got to. There's no exit button at all. But
it's too much because they'll be more scrolling than playing.
No, it's not even that. So it was like I put a quarter in and it started Mario, and I wanted to play Pac-Man. Give me my quarter back.
Oh God, I was at an arcade in Ohio and they had a play choice, and I remember I was fucking up the coin/start/menu button just to pick the Playboy's Chen of which NES game I wanted to play, and I was thinking like, oh my god, it would have been so much worse had it been a Pandora's box that were set up for like coin drop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It would have been way worse, actually.
Yeah, it would be
If
free
anyone's
play.
drinking, I'm gonna get a drink.
Go for it.
Yeah, and then we'd also need a social aspect of it because the arcade that we went to was nice. But then I thought to myself, okay, after I played the like 8 games I wanted to play, then I'm gonna go unless someone's there to drink with me, play with me, or like they were doing the Killer Queen competition. Oh, if there's a competition, then you get a huge crowd.
You got to have tournaments.
Yeah,
you have to have tournaments.
And different games, but with emulation, that's a lot easier.
Like,
and you can also use a parsec.
One of my ideas was like on a Friday night, if you make the number 1 highest score on one of the arcade games, you get $100. Right? Or you can get $100
drink credit. We're not giving away free money.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
Well, it's like a prize. We call it the Friday night high score Friday nights, right?
Yeah.
And then if you make the highest score on one of the games as in the number 1 spot, then you get like $100 bar tab, or you get $100 in cash.
Right.
And then like if you bring a girl, the girl's entry is free
to the first person to get it. And then like you'd have like a chalkboard behind the bar with everybody's initials in the high scores for whatever game is in there. You know, I think that would be really fun because then your name gets on the wall.
Yeah, the scoreboards were huge at a bunch of the arcades I've been at recently. I was traveling for work, gang. You know, for and what is it? I was in Western Ohio in the Dayton area, and there were so many cool like retro arcades and pinball places, or just a bar that had pinball.
Right.
There was one place that they had a Pandora's box on a pedestal, but it played to a projector screen, and there was an elevated area where like in this bar where there was like couch seating.
Oh yeah, you showed us that.
Yeah, and so there was a projection screen above that elevated area. And so it's still Pandora's box, but I jumped on it and I was playing like Street Fighter Alpha, and I'm looking over the head of all these people that were out like in the couches and having drinks, and I'm just like, you know, doing Street Fighter, you know.
But then
like,
not to mention, imagine like on a Friday night, you just got a fucking, you know, crowd of people, and it's like championship round and on a fucking, you know, big screen and all that.
Yeah, the same thing for some of their pinball machines. They had cameras set, like camcorders.
Yes, I actually take a picture of the
and they'll have the big screen, big vertical TV screen mounted up so that people can see what's going on in the playfield. That was cool. They had just gotten Pulp Fiction literally that week, so I got to play Pulp Fiction there. But they had that on one of the big screens on the wall. But this was a bar. It wasn't an arcade. It was a bar that had shit in it, and that was awesome. I wish there was more places like that where they were, you know, it was an arcade plus, you know, you had that other environment.
I honestly, in this world, it's got to be a bar with an arcade.
It has to be.
The money in the liquor is not in the entry fee.
It has to be a family-friendly environment, and you have to be serving beer. True. There has to be beer and wine or seltzers or something. You have to have something.
Right.
You can't just have a straight-up arcade anymore because it's not going to make any money.
Right.
You have to have something attached to it. There has to be maybe some kind of food with it, or maybe just at least drinks. You have to have drinks.
Right.
No matter what. Like, I mean, the bar, the Peabody we went to was a brewery. And then they had the food trucks outside.
Yep.
And what I liked about that was, like, in the front was all the paid-for stuff. They had that front area where you would pay for the arcades. They separated it. And then you had the free play spot. Yeah. You know? And I thought that was super cool.
The free play area in the back, that's the new thing. They call it the dugout. But the front area was pay to play. And that's been there for a little while. It was mostly pinballs.
Right.
But they were experimenting with. They actually had like they called it a convention. But back in February, they had a gaming convention there, and a local company that provides arcade games for, you know, like for conventions or parties, whatnot. They're called Save Point, and they know the owners of Peabody Heights, and they thought like, hey, let's do a thing. We'll bring a bunch of our machines down. You take this new space you just built out in the back. We'll have a gaming convention. We'll judge interest. Well, the interest was high. Like I was there for one of the 2 nights they had it, and it was just packed. After that, they're like, this is staying. We want this to be a permanent thing.
It would just only make sense, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, then you're saying that the place with the dugout, it's not their arcade games?
No, well, so the dugout area that we were in is all those games belong to Save Point, and now Save Point is friends with Peabody Heights, and so what they do is they actually cycle games in and out of the dugout. But then Save Point also they usually had a warehouse of games,
right?
And so the dugout is now taking part of their warehouse space. And so they're rotating the games in and out of it.
My question now is, do you think, are they doing a 50-50 split on the entrance fee?
There's got to be.
You know, I don't.
Or, I mean, honestly, I would assume that entrance fee goes right to the arcade guy.
I would imagine that I was talking with some of the Save Point people when they first were setting it all up, and I definitely got the impression that they were really good friends with the owner of Peabody Heights, and it was kind of like, hey, his customers get to play arcades, and we have a place to store some of our arcades. It's kind of like
too.
Yeah, we're not paying rent. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
and they get to be played, and they get to be tested out.
And the dugout's still kind of a new concept for them, so I don't think they're too worried about who's getting the money from it yet. I think everybody's just really happy that it brings in customers, and that Save Point is getting free advertising, and also they're getting free storage and whatnot for their games.
That's
and again, I mean, this now the brewery really has no maintenance needed.
No, it has maintenance for a brewery. Well,
no, I'm talking for the arcade side of things. They're not doing the arcade.
Yeah. So
they're like, okay, this game is down today. All right, we'll just let them know, and then they come over.
And then Save Point comes and swaps it out or fixes it. Yeah.
But
so the guys that went there, a lot of the games that were really popular were a lot of Japanese like rhythm games, dance games, and rhythm games and drum games and all that.
Which is what Brad made me realize how much I enjoy playing fucking rhythm games too.
And then your DDR pad is here now.
I know, right? I've had that for like a year almost, actually. I just never did anything with it. But I didn't know how much I was going to enjoy a rhythm game. And then Brad's like, yo, you got to try this rhythm game. You got to try this game. And he's like doing like this arm swipe thing and going around. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And I suck at it, of course.
Yeah, I can't keep up on the ones where you're jumping and dancing on a pad. I'm too old and I lost my breath. But these ones where you're just kind of hitting the notes, they'll also have proximity sensors in them. So in addition to hitting those, you're waving your hands in front of the screen like a madman. Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun. And also it reminds me of when like the Nintendo Wii came out and all a bunch of normals, like non-gamers, were playing these games. Normals are going back into the dugout and they're digging these rhythm games. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun. That was a really fun arcade. Between Crabtown and that one, obviously Peabody was the winner on that one because of all the working arcades that were in there. But not only that, just the selection of arcades that was in there too. There are arcades that was at Peabody are in really, really, really good condition. Like the Afterburner, the Outrun, the Sega Outrun was amazing to play.
Yeah. There was only a few that were at the time that were there. Again, they rotate, but at the time there were a few that were down. There was
Crisis was busted.
Time Crisis 2 was a little busted.
Yeah.
And,
one of the Tekkens was busted.
Right.
Ray and I beat Area 51.
Yeah, by the way, Hap guns suck ass. Like, I am so used to the speed of Gunfire R now. That shit is slow as hell.
And also, they just feel so awful. And I did a thing. I did like a TikTok or YouTube short or both talking about how much I hate Hap guns while I was like on the road. And some people are defending them. It's like, no, you used to be able to get them with recoil. And I'm like, oh, just stop.
Just stop.
Like, I mean, I didn't remember the Haps ever having recoil, but if they did,
they did it. So the Haps.
Click, 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 click. It's not the Time Crisis Namco recoil.
No, it's a small solenoid piston that was available as an upgrade kit for the Hap guns.
I never went to a place that upgraded them, but the guy, I think he said in California, he's like, oh, we've got some and they've recoil and they're great. I'm like, okay, they might have recoil. Are they great? They're hard plastic. And speaking of like finding arcades in weird places, I was at an RV park outside of Ocean City, Maryland, and the little clubhouse by the pool had Terminator Salvation Deluxe, and it had a House of the Dead 1 with Hap guns. The cabinet was pristine. I imagine somebody must have restored it or something. There's no way it still looked like that, except for the fact that it had been modified for a card reader instead of coins. But the Hap guns were on it. Everything was beautiful. The Hap guns were on it with no recoil. But on top of that, the cable coming out of the Hap guns was so stiff and unforgiving that it was, you almost had to two-hand the gun just to keep the gun from torquing off target.
That's what I did,
yeah.
I had the two-hand. It's too the trigger's too stiff for that one.
Yeah,
I was doing one-handed the whole time when we were playing Area 51. Pussy.
Well, you got the gorilla hands.
I got the gorilla hands.
I was trying to be accurate about it. I shot a lot faster than you did at that point.
I got a video of Ray, shockingly with this whole like off-screen real quick. I have a shorter than on mine.
It's still a lot too slow. It's still a lot slower than like emulation for me. I don't know.
The emulation is definitely faster.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at old school light gun. We're talking about White Flash. White
Flash. The White Flash.
Yeah, the CRT White Flash. Yep.
That's also seizure inducing.
Yeah, so you can only go so fast, and where it's still registering, all those hits.
Right. I wish there was a way to remove that in emulation.
There is. Oh well,
not
depends on the game. You guys could. There was the
PS2 you could.
PS2, yeah, the Crisis Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crisis Zone, because that was the machine gun based. So
Right.
white flash on constant machine gun, they
Oh,
just call it fog because it was constant white like flicker.
Yeah,
It was
right.
awesome.
Grinding.
By the way, Brad, your mic is doing something weird. I'm getting like a hissing sound whenever
Me
Brad
too.
speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
your camera is perfectly clear though. Like you are.
But
Yeah,
this
we
is
can.
the new
I can
laptop,
see
right?
that you just
New
shaved.
New laptop. Let me check my audio settings because I think I'm using this mic, but watch, I probably am not. I'm probably.
I think you're using the laptop's mic because your
The
audio.
audio
quality-
just like swapped.
Yeah,
Hang on.
your audio is a lot better before. Yeah, that's a loud hiss.
I thought it was my laptop. I was
It
like,
sounds like change clanging.
I'm like
doesn't it?
lowering it. I'm like, is it me?
No.
Tell you what,
It's,
I'm gonna mute me. You guys talk amongst yourselves until I can figure out my settings.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the treble is set too high on his receiver or whatever.
Well, he's got like that DJI one. I don't even see him wearing it.
That's the thing. I don't think he's using it. I think he's
No,
using.
he's got the.
He's
boom
got the.
mic.
Oh,
He's,
He can still
he's got the
hear
new
us.
setup.
yeah, but I think he's using the laptop's internal microphone. That's why.
I mean, look at his
Hey,
hand.
I don't
Looks
hear
like he just
the.
got
I
done
don't hear
going
the hissing
fishing.
now.
But you muted him. Of course, you don't hear the hissing. He's
I want to
muted.
make sure it was in.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was gonna be me.
Yeah,
No, dude, I had a blast down there with you guys though.
Yeah, man,
And
that
at those
was-
arcades.
It was a good time until it was jacuzzi time.
So hang on. So let's tell the story. Let me tell the story of Ray when as
I'll
soon
get a
as Brad
drink for
comes
this
back,
then.
because Ray needs to hear this from our perspective, not his perspective first. So because it was pretty fucking funny.
It was just
We
was so left field, dude. It
we gotta-
was so left field.
We gotta when Brad comes back, we gotta fucking find the pic because we gotta put the pic on the screen so everybody can see the pic from the ER.
It was to me, it was like so left field because when it happened, I was like, wait a minute, we haven't seen Ray for like 10 minutes. Like, where the fuck did Ray go?
He was gone for a
He
hot
was
minute.
gone, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until like he actually came back. I was like, oh shit, Ray was actually gone for a while.
He was gone. Yeah, he was gone for a little while actually. But when he came out and he's like, hang on, I don't want to talk about it until Brad gets here. Oh man. But I mean, just being down there, dude, playing the arcade games with you guys and going to those arcades, it literally made me remember why I liked playing arcades.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, and
arcades
it changes. We were all saying it like, oh, we play this at home. Like we have this at home. We have TMNT at home.
But
But
we
then
don't
it's
have
like,
anybody to play with.
right. It's different when you're. It's also different when you're in this like atmosphere of just everybody around you.
That's
Dedicated
it,
controls are different. That's
Dedicated
very.
controls.
That's number
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
That we definitely established it. But it's more about like everybody in like
Right.
you're all hanging out, and it's kind of cool to just be able to bounce to a different machine.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to exit out and then like, oh, let me
Mhm.
look for the Simpsons and I got to go and scroll and.
Yeah,
The
if we
arcade
make
atmosphere.
if we build an arcade business, it has to be dedicated emulated cabs. But the
Yeah.
best part, the good part is the cost will go way down because to just do one game, you don't have to put a whole 4K PC. Then you put a mini PC or a FPGA,
Yeah.
even a Pi, and just lock
So-
it.
That was my
Yeah.
idea with the barcade. So I wanted to do a mix of. That's why I bought the real PCBs because I want to learn the real PCBs, put them in a 1-to-1 cabinet if I can, or close enough to a 1-to-1 cabinet, and get those running with the dedicated controls. That's exactly why I bought 4 or 5 PCBs. So that was my idea to start there to see if I could do the 1-to-1 cabinets and then have the real hardware running inside that cabinet, and then put that eventually in an arcade. And then in
Right.
the meantime, while I'm building cabinets for 1-to-1 stuff and getting PCBs to put into an arcade, I'm running emulation, but dedicated emulation. Like for Killer Instinct, I would run a dedicated Killer Instinct cabinet using the emulation on it until I can get my hands on the real PCB, and then swap the real PCB in the arcade cabinet that I already built for it and keep going from there.
Interesting.
So yeah, like I got a Sunset Riders PCB, a 4-player Sunset Riders PCB.
how much are you spending on PCBs?
Like 200 plus each.
Depends. I was like 150, 180 ish with shipping, and shipping was like $30-$40 that I was getting it shipped from.
200.
And I probably spent about $1,000 on 5 PCBs, 4 or 5 PCBs, and then I got the Captain's Auction box.
Oh, did that come in?
Didn't come in yet. No, I called the manager and I talked to the manager on Friday because I need to ship it. And since I need to ship it, I was like, can I apparently I also won a bid on some pinball parts that I didn't even realize I made a bid on.
Oh,
So I must have been scrolling and I must have hit the button on accident.
Oh
on my
shit.
phone.
Okay.
And I'm like, I asked her if I can like, you know, take that off the invoice, and she's like, well, you can buy it, and then we can put it back up for sale for you. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it was only $100,
Ah,
so I'm not gonna bitch about that. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to ship those to me because I don't have any, you know,
Yeah, you're not pinball. Yeah.
right. But the PCBs, they threw that in another box for me, sealed it up, gave me the dimensions and the weight, and I just got to get them the label. And then, so I'll have them. I already got the label. I just got to email it to them. So I'll email the label tomorrow.
Oh, so you're like you're. Oh, that's smart. I didn't know
Yeah,
that was a thing.
and then she told me FedEx or USPS because those are the people that are there every day.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a USPS box or USPS label, slap it on the box, and then they're going to have it picked up.
Oh, that's kind of smart then, because you could always do pirate ship if anything, if you could get it cheaper like that too.
That's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to.
I didn't know that was a
label.
thing. I didn't know that they offer that. But I guess
Well,
again, for something small like a PCB,
Yeah.
it's different.
It's just a box. You know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
box. Because I asked if I can do a UPS label, then schedule a pickup, and she's like, "Well, don't do that because UPS doesn't come here unless somebody does that." She's like, "But FedEx is here every single day for pickups, and so is USPS."
All right.
So she said use one of those two.
All
I
right.
said, "Okay, cool." So in that box are 2 Street Fighters and a Marvel vs. Capcom, the original.
Okay.
So
Naomi
those
board?
no, it's not the Naomi board. It is the CPS2 board.
Oh,
Yeah, the
much.
blue. That's the blue.
One.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not the one that's in the blue shell. It's separate, I believe, but I don't know. They didn't show a picture of it in the auction. It just said Marvel
It's usually
vs.
like
Capcom
the.
was
I
in
mean,
there.
I had one time a Dynamo cap. It was like it's like a blue base, and then you could just.
That's the A and B boards for a CPS2.
Right.
The color shell is actually based on the region.
It might be
Right.
a CPS.
Yeah.
It might
It's
be a
either gray or
CPS one
blue.
board then. So I don't know if Marvel vs. Capcom is CPS2 or CPS1. Honestly,
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is
no. The first
No,
one.
he
the
had
first
one.
Oh, no,
Marvel's
one
got one
is
CPS2.
CPS2. Yeah.
CPS2. All right, so
Yeah.
whatever they want, it's tested. Somebody had to test it to know that it was Marvel vs. Capcom. How else would you know, right?
Well,
I mean, the
usually the ones
labels
that
of the
I've seen, they have a
labels,
sticker
yeah.
on the front of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean they had something. I would assume, and yeah, well, fingers crossed, it's fucking tested and working.
That's right. Like I said, for example, right now you just said that you possibly spent about $1,000 on like PCBs.
Right.
You know, if you went the route of like, let's just say you get mini PCs, and then you could get 5 mini PCs, let's say for $1,000.
You get 5
You know
mini
what I mean?
PCs for
More than
$500
that, more
bucks.
You can get
Yeah.
$100 mini
Yeah,
because if
$100
you're running
pop.
just 2D stuff, you don't even need the front
Well,
end. You can just
That was actually my
Right.
justification of ordering the PCBs. I'm looking at the PCB prices, and they're averaging anywhere from $150 to $200, depending on what you're looking at. Obviously,
Yeah.
the better they go,
They have
the
a good
higher it goes.
resale value, yes.
Right, they got a
100%.
great resale value, but
Yeah.
you know, we're spending. If I buy a Dell Optiplex, a full size, I'm looking at $150 plus
Right.
replacing the SSD inside it. I'm looking at another $25-$30 plus tax, so I'm right around $200.
you can get
So,
an
you
no, you
taking
can
a picture
get
of
an
us?
N95 for like
I think
under
it's
100
two of
now.
them.
You
Yeah.
get my point, though. You're looking at $150-$200 for a PC, right?
Right.
And if I were to build a multicade cabinet for one of my multicades, I would need a graphic card of a 1650 inside it, and
Right.
that's $170 right there on its own. So I'm spending $400 or $500 on a PC. So PCBs, if I'm under $400 or even under $200 on a PCB for a classic game, I think it's a deal.
Yeah, and that's what
Yeah.
I said. You could always resell it if anything. It's solid.
Right. So I ended up with what do I got? I got a Double Dragon PCB. I got a Sunset Riders PCB, which I think is fucking cool. Yeah. I ordered the fucking kick harness for it too for player 3 and 4.
Okay.
Because you got to have all players
Yeah.
on it, right?
Yeah.
I got WWF Superstars.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I got a Street Fighter 2, and then I have another Street Fighter 2. I got a Mortal Kombat, the original one. And then I have the Marvel vs. Capcom coming with the 2 Street Fighters.
Wow.
So that's not bad.
No.
No, that's not bad at all to start off with. I think I got something else that I can't think. Oh, I got a Punisher. I got
Oh,
the
wow.
Punisher.
Really?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I got the Punisher.
Wait a minute.
That's all. This is majority of it's from auction captains or.
This is all eBay.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, I got that. I got them all off eBay except for the 2 Street Fighter 2 boards with the Marvel vs. Capcom was from Captains. But I had a separate Street Fighter board in the garage. I bought a untested one to see
Okay.
if it works or not. It was $50, and that's the one. Did I message you guys and say that I got the JAMA harness was smoking, like the actual harness was
What?
smoking, not the board, the harness. The wires were smoking.
Something was
I
shorted out.
bought a JAMA Plus harness, and I don't think I hooked up. It had 2 12-volt wires on it for Plus, and I only hooked up one of them. I didn't think I was going to need to hook up the second one. And yeah, the actual wires coming from the power supply to the JAMA were smoking. but the board wasn't smoking.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I didn't break the board.
that's weird.
Isn't it weird?
Like,
I texted.
So wait, did you now put the two 12 volts and then it's okay, or you don't know
No,
yet?
I took that harness off and I threw it in the garbage because it's fucking melted.
Yeah.
And I ordered the same harness I have in my SNK. I ordered that harness, and I'm gonna retest with that harness on that board to see if it was anything to do with the harness or if it was the board, because the harness I got for the SNK were like $15, and then the JAMA Plus harness was $25. So on the JAMA Plus harness, I think they call it a JAMA Plus because it added in button 5 and 6. What's up, Al? It added in button 5 and 6 instead of just having the standard 4-button layout. But I mean, if I need to, I can always solder those two wires on there with my, impeccable retro lizard soldering skills.
Smoke coming out of a wire.
yeah,
That's what I said. Well, I'm sitting there. And
I don't think it was because there was only one 12 volt connected. I think there was something that was shorted out.
it had to have been something that was shorted out, and it had
like
to come from the JAMA.
12 volt was touching the ground somewhere.
Maybe.
But it's I remember you talking about the kick harnesses though. I remember the first time I was trying to fix up an original arcade PCB for somebody, and it was a basketball game, slam dunk in Japan, whatever they called it here.
Our rivals?
No, it was run and gun.
Run and gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So run and gun, it was he had a run and gun 2-player cabinet, and he had the PCB. Now, but he wanted to. I was didn't know shit, but I was getting work, and I noticed like, hey, there was actually a head-to-head version of this game with 4 players on 2 screens. Wouldn't it be cool, like if you if you set this up, you got the 2-player working, but it didn't have a kick harness. So I was able to enable the 4-player, and I found the sub CRT out on the board for the second screen, but I didn't have a kick harness for players 3 and 4. So I literally just I just literally soldered wires to the different pins for like players 3 and 4. It's like really like just right to the pin, just like raw solder to it. So,
oh my god,
hot glue, right?
Yeah. And when it was all done, just put the hot snot all over it to keep it there.
Jesus, it worked. It worked, right?
And he actually ended up setting it up with a head-to-head where players 1 and 2 were on one TV and players 3 and 4 were on another in the original arcade. But he just had the 2 sets of controls and 2 screens. So I actually cut the wires that were going from player 2 into JAMA.
Right.
And those are the ones I soldered into player 3. So the cabinet is actually player 1 and player 3, and they each have their own screen. So it was all hacked up and soldered straight to the board. And it's a mess, but it worked. It was like real guerrilla like warfare against this board. So
how much is a kick harness?
They're like $20-$30.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like I didn't know what they even were. I didn't know what a kick harness was. It wasn't until later when I was looking at my first JAMA interface for like a 60-in-1 that I started realizing like, well, there's only so many inputs. What about all the rest of the buttons for like Street Fighter and stuff? I'm like, oh, kick harness. Because also the Pandora's box, the CHAMA, the Chinese JAMA, has all those. There's a bunch of unused pins that CHAMA uses for inputs. So you don't need a kick harness when going into a Pandora's box. But you do need the kick harness when you're on original JAMA. So it's very interesting.
It's wild.
It is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do regular PCBs, because then you have all these random parts that have to be dedicated. And if someone fucks one up or a rat chews through it, buying another one might take quite long.
And those New York City rats, man.
Yeah, our rats.
Man, those
Yeah.
are some rats.
Yeah, and then if you use an emulation PC, just change the USB cord. That's a lot easier to handle.
Right.
It is. Absolutely, it is.
Raider, are you different?
Did you change glasses?
I have my other glasses on today. I have my silhouettes on today.
Oh,
I don't know how you could tell.
So let's talk about Ray smacking his face off the ground.
yes.
Right? So we're sitting in Brad D's tub. Now, mind you, Ray started drinking, like, what are you drinking? Whiskey on the rocks?
Yes.
Yeah, you started drinking at like 5:30.
I was like, he just never stopped.
No, he wasn't drinking when we were.
I didn't notice it.
But
I
as
didn't
soon
notice
as we
it.
got back to the house, he was
very casual. He just kind of like it was in his hand all night. But I was like,
it was.
He's just like
and he was doing good.
He was doing good. He was In fact, actually, I'm not going to say we're not going to try to paint this that like Ray was drunk, but
No, not at all.
He wasn't. He wasn't. He was
It was a
totally fine.
negligence issue.
Ray slipped because first of all,
I got out of a hot tub.
I like every story that starts with, so then we were all in Brad's tub. So
so
There's
there's
four dudes in a hot
guys
tub.
in a jacuzzi, right? We had our shirts off too, but we had our pants on. Ray's like, I got to use the bathroom. So he stands up with his pants on, gets out of the jacuzzi, goes into the house. And mind
I didn't use the bathroom. I wanted to refill my water.
Oh, we thought
I thought you had to go to the bathroom. I heard bathroom and then water.
No one knows what really happened.
Either way, you walk into Brad's house and you go through the sliding glass doors and you're walking on carpet and you're going up the stairs and then you get to his upstairs with the hardwood floors and that's where Ray went. Which we were all like, "There's ice right there at the bar."
We thought
I was like, the bathroom is downstairs.
Well, he was going to the water dispenser.
And there's a sink over there. Yeah.
No,
so
drinking, not for washing my
hands. Ray's gone for like 10-15 minutes. Right? And he comes back out and he just comes outside and he's like, guys, I think I gotta go to the hospital. He's like, I fell, my lip's bleeding, I busted it open. And we're all kind of like looking at each other, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, you probably just got a fucking fat lip. Let's just go and look at it, right? Like, it can't be that big of a deal."
Yeah, now Ray didn't say that he split his lip open. He actually he thought he was missing a piece of his lip. We were all trying to be cool about it, right? Like we're like, "Oh, it's cool. It's no big deal. We're like, take care of it. You'll be fine." But deep down, we're all like, whenever Ray was like in the other room or getting his shoes, it's like, so what do you think happened to the rest of his skin? Like, do you think when we hit the floor, maybe he swallowed it? Do you think like maybe my dog got it?
Did it fall under the fridge?
Floor, we couldn't find any bits of Ray. So where did Ray go?
And there was no blood.
Oh, I cleaned it before I went to you guys.
Ray is very he's a very good guest. He was sure to clean up all the biohazard before asking to be taken to the hospital.
Right, he did. So what I imagined was Ray standing up. All I imagined was Ray standing up like this, and then boom, he's on the ground. That's it. That's all I imagine. And like his face hitting the ground. That's it.
Yeah.
But like totally missing his nose. He doesn't have a big nose either, by the way, everybody. Totally missing his nose, but he's got giant fucking lips. Yeah. So no wonder you hit that first.
You guys at home wouldn't know this, but Ray is a tall motherfucker. So when he timbers, there's some distance that he has to travel before face the floor. So now he wasn't. There was what happens with your lips is there wasn't a chunk missing, which is what he thought. It's just that it's so like under tension that when there's a split, it
lacerated up. Yeah,
it splits, and so it looks like oh, I see teeth. Like I just see teeth now.
It was a through and through. That's fucking scary. All right, because
well, in the heat of the moment, it didn't look like it was through and through until you went to the ER and the girl was like,
told me. Oh, and that fucking bitch at the ER. Okay, the nurse was pretty good. That's fine. They made me wait like 40 minutes. It was like,
by the way, at home, it was 1 a.m. on a Saturday at the emergency room. Like, I was surprised they saw Ray that day. Like, so meanwhile, Ray texts like, "I've been waiting 25 minutes." I'm like, "Get comfortable, Ray."
Hold on, wait, Brad, email yourself the picture and let's show him the picture of us in the ER.
Right. I saw that picture. You showed it to me.
You didn't, but the world didn't.
Ray came to the bathtub and he was just more like, "I'm so sorry, guys. I just ruined the night. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to go to the hospital." Bathtub. We're like, "What?"
We were in a jacuzzi, not a bathtub.
Yeah, jacuzzi. Let's not make it awkward. All right,
it's called in a bathtub or totally in a jacuzzi.
I was like, "What happened?" But now, Ray, so I don't know. So, like, is it like Joel said? You just went,
So
not like you didn't do like a cartoon where like your feet went.
No. It literally
wasn't like.
The problem is, like he said, when you walk through the side door from the hot tub to get upstairs, you go through the game room, which is where Brad is in now. There's carpet there, and by logic, when we're wet from hot tub, the water will absorb into the carpet. So I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'm walking barefoot. And then I was like, all right, I want a glass of water. There's no water in the game room. There's no
moving
water
too fast, Turbo.
So I went up to
and his stairs are carpeted too. The stairs are carpeted.
The stairs are carpeted. The kitchen obviously is not. So the kitchen, I went to get my water. I got it. I don't know what the fuck happened. I literally just like made a step. I was barefoot. That's probably my fault. I slipped. The glass fell. Water spilled. And I knew I hit my face bong straight. My nose was completely fine, but I know I saw blood. I was like, "Oh shit! I must have had a cut." I didn't realize. So I started like getting napkins and cleaning up the water, of course, because I didn't want anyone else to slip. And then I was like spitting out blood. Like, wow, that's a lot of blood. And for people who aren't medically inclined, when your body suffers a traumatic injury, you actually don't feel it as much as you may think.
It's called shock.
It's called shock.
No, it's not even shock. It's your body.
It wasn't that traumatic.
Your body will release
Endorphins.
Endorphins. Yes,
yeah.
I learned that in house.
It's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it will release endorphins so that you don't feel that brutality right away. These motherfuckers.
This is like at 1:40 in the morning. I texted my wife, and my wife was like, "Was Ray drunk?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. He was like totally fine."
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we're in the ER, and the three of us are giggling the whole
Yeah,
time like little schoolgirls.
We were kind of drunk. So.
Yeah, but we were literally giggling the whole time in the ER.
But then we're like,
cracking jokes.
We probably should feel a little guilty about this. So this is our guilty face.
Yeah, this is a guilty face.
Yeah, so it was really bad, and it was straight cut up. And then what they'll do for anyone who's ever in this situation again, apparently JB, my business partner who does the Like Us, also had this situation in the exact same spot.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They will stitch you up, and according to my doctor here, they use very good stitches at your hospital. They use very good quality nylon sutras, and then you will be okay. And then they'll give you very confusing information about how to take care of it. The front lady told me, "Oh, you're probably gonna have a scar, and you're probably gonna need to go to plastic surgery." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then
Ray was panicking too. He's like,
Yeah,
"I'm gonna have to go to a plastic surgeon. I'm physically deformed."
oh, yo, when you have a scar or
That was rough.
yeah, when you have
No,
that,
we were ready to. We were making him an iron mask. We were ready.
and then like I was like, okay, this is bad, and then I got a lot of conflicting information on how to take care of the stitches. She was like, "Oh, put Neosporin on it, and then rinse your mouth with this antibiotic wash."
When we walked out, the nurse was like, "He can keep drinking."
Yeah,
Literally told us that when we were
she was like, "It's just tequila might make you feel better." I'm like, and so that's what I did. I poured another glass of fucking whiskey, and then
we didn't get back until like 3:30 in the morning.
and I had another drink.
And then we
you
went to
you
bed,
put on-
so we had to have another drink.
Yeah, now we went to bed.
Yeah, we told Ray he
vintage
can't
porn.
give us
You
any
put on
lip for
vintage
having another
Playboy
drink.
video.
They didn't hear it. You got to say that again.
I
So
said we
after-
told Ray we couldn't give him any. He couldn't give us any lip for having another drink before we went to bed.
Yeah, and then
No
and then
lip.
Brad puts on freaking vintage Playboy like a
Then
my Playboy
Oh,
Laserdisc.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's good. Well, I was trying to make Ray feel better.
Brad's
Yeah.
like, does anybody want to watch the 1987 Playboy calendar?
Well, you know
on
what
Laserdisc?"
sucks?
The
This
three of
all,
us were like, yes.
it all possibly could have been averted if we went to the strip club like Ray wanted to.
It could have been. or Ray could have face planted at the strip club.
no,
That would've been worse.
Sneakers. That would
No, he would have fallen into airbags. He would have been safe.
yeah.
The only
There was
reason why
only one
I didn't
strip
think it
club
was that
there,
big of a deal is because Ray wasn't gushing blood. Like there was no
Oh,
like
I cleaned it already. I
No,
spit
but
it
you-
all out
you-
into the sink.
You weren't continuing to gush. your
right.
blood.
There was no continuous to it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if
Ed
that would have
Wood
happened
couldn't
on a
do
stripper,
that.
the stripper probably thought it would have been a period. So
Oh, so
You would have had to get tested.
Dude's Arcade. Yeah, I face planted in Brad's kitchen because I was getting out of a hot tub and my feet were still wet.
1 minute
then
Ray's like this, the next minute, boom,
Yeah, and
instantaneous.
my lip got cut on my tooth. It went straight through, and it was very, very bloody. So I had to go to the hospital, and they stitched me up. And I
But
was
first, you had to
freaking
clean
out.
my floor.
And then
Ray
first I
took me
cleaned
to
the
the hospital.
yeah.
I'm more surprised.
And now
I'm more
Brad
surprised
set
we
up his
didn't hear the
Nepcam.
body fall. We didn't hear the body drop. And then also the dogs didn't do anything.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
your dogs are assholes.
Dad didn't care. And then, honestly, at the moment, we were all out in the hot tub, and the Jets were on. Some music was playing, and Ray is not only inside but also upstairs. So we would have just found the body later.
And nobody better be judging us because we were listening to Michael Bolton and Brad's hot tub either.
Was
Were
it
we?
Michael Bolton?
Were we?
It's a joke, guys.
Oh
Oh.
God, I don't remember. That
I
could
was
have
like,
happened.
remember that.
Second guessing yourself. Like, holy shit. Was Careless Whisper playing?
I was like, were we even listening to music? Because we were
No, we
talking.
weren't.
We were like,
I don't
we
know.
were in
Yeah.
There
deep
was no
combo,
music.
and then Ray was like, "Guys, I really hate to like kill the mood right now, but like I gotta go to the ER." We're like, "What?"
Ray, I mean, you should have just peed in the hot tub, dude. There's chlorine.
I wanted water, not.
Oh, you wanted water. That's
I
right.
wanted more.
I swear to God, I thought he
liquid.
said he was going to the bathroom.
I heard bathroom. I definitely heard bathroom.
I use the
100%.
bathroom too, but my main point is I wanted to get more water and ice because I drink, like you guys know, I drink a ton of ice.
What an adventure. That was a good day. That was a good time.
So I am
It's
relatively recovered now. I still have a little red spot here, but lip tissue heals very strangely compared to the rest of your part of your body. Actually,
I didn't even notice it when I seen you last week.
yeah, your lip tissue will
Oh.
actually form. Well, first the split has to be sealed. You have to keep putting Vaseline on it, and then it will actually give you a fat lip for the first week. That's terrible.
Ray's a pro at this.
Yeah, and then afterwards it will form a very hard lump inside, so that it's strong and it won't split open again.
Not
and
a nest of crabs.
Yeah, this lump will now like slowly dissipate over the next 2 months. So it's been a month now since the accident. I'm relatively normal again.
Since the
Has it only
accident.
been a month? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's only been a month.
It's
Wow.
been a little bit over a month. That's
Dude,
how we started. You
so
weren't
much
here
has
yet.
happened in the past month.
Okay, I'm glad for like other people too because I've just been like nonstop. I haven't. I was just funny. I was just playing Helldivers with some of my fellow PlayStation guys, and they're like, "Brad, we haven't seen you in like 2.5 weeks," and I was like, "No, that can't be right." Like,
Yeah,
what?
you've been because you went on vacation for like 10 days with your brother, and then you were out of town for work for a few more days after that, or before that, something like that,
boom,
right?
boom, boom. It's been a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff going on, real life stuff. I was late to the stream tonight. I was just thinking this story reminds me, I actually have to change the water in the hot tub. The water's in there still from that trip.
That is disgusting.
That is not good.
It's not like,
A bunch of hairy
anything happened.
Like, no, it's just like oh god, no.
Chad was in there like last week.
What is that? Oh, that's a
Chad
retro
being there.
lizard chest hair. Ew.
We'll be lucky if it's a chest hair.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a retro lizard tramp stamp hair.
Right. So so on the note of Brad D's been busy. I have not abandoned YouTube. It's for me, I got a day job and I do YouTube for fun. But like I got you guys when you were over for that weekend, you got to try out the Zenith gun, the X gun, and I got a prototype sent to do a review, and I've done some bits and pieces of footage of it, but I haven't made my review video of it yet. You guys have to try it out. But that was given to me right before my work trip, which was like 2 or 3 weeks before you guys came over. So like I'm really far behind.
You're busy. Everybody's busy.
But this guy gave me like a prototype of his light gun to review, and I've been sitting on it. And now the only reason I'm not really like super panicked about it is one, he also gave the only other prototype to Retro Ralph, and Retro Ralph's had it even longer and hasn't been able to do a video on it yet either. So
he did something on it. He did something on it.
He did a short. Yeah, he did a short saying like review coming soon. So, right. But I have all the sympathy for Retro Ralph because like, man, like shit happens and like I'll get around to it. But you know.
Life happens, dude, and it happens fast.
Yeah.
I don't even have a day job, and I don't even get my videos out the time I want to. I was delayed on my new karaoke video for like 2 months. I just kept getting lazy about it, and the fun part is every time I get something new, I sold it right away before I even made a video.
You know who was able to get his videos out though was Vic on that John Wick and going to meet the CEO of Stern.
I was for 5 days me and B were the most hated people in the pinball world. It was unbelievable.
Fuck them.
We were hated. Dude, we got so much hate.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, because we're not pinball
guys are kind of serious. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was so surprised. I was also texting B because B took it like B's the type that doesn't really answer to it. I'm the type I'm gonna answer it. If you talk shit like about me, I'll be like, what's the problem? Like, what do you got? What do you want to say?
Forget about it.
Dude, I had like 6 or 7 like legit podcasters email me and we're like, oh, we saw your response video, we just want to say, we're sorry, it was just the heat of the moment. It was cool, and I don't know how to explain it. I guess like the outcome was cool. I definitely got a shitload of viewers out of it and then a couple of subscribers out of it. So that was like
the experience. You met
the experience was definitely like nobody could compare. Like I got to do it, but now it's actually kind of funny. 2 weeks go by and then Stern invites the podcasters to Chicago. Stern actually flew them out. Like Stern paid these podcasts. So it's kind of cool. Like me personally, I'm like, I did that. It was me. Because of my situation, you guys got the invite, and it was cool. I mean, it is what it is. It was I'm telling you, dude, for a solid 5 days.
Hold on a second here. So the guys that were giving you shit, those exact guys got invited out by Stern?
I would say, yeah.
So they caught Stern's attention by giving you shit. Okay,
I wouldn't think that. No, I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't say it like that. No.
I think they probably planned to invite those guys out because they were flown out, right?
Well, no. So I mean, again, if you're in the pinball world on it, me and B's video went out. Now, also B, I don't know if he's here or whatever, but B did a very smart strategy, which I don't think he was really allowed to do. We had an embargo. And again, it's kind of funny because it was legit. It's just me, B, and one other YouTube channel that got this opportunity. It's very odd.
When you went there, you thought you were going to be like part of a press conference, and
I said it many times in the video. I thought it was going to be like, 30 people in a room and like a car, like you're going to unveil a car,
right?
And I was alone. I was like, what? I wasn't prepared for that. So what's crazy, like I said, B in this other YouTube channel, which is really just a gaming channel, like they're into like board games and like regular like PlayStation games and all that. Right. They're in LA. So like you could tell that their office was shot the same like cabinet, whereas like my footage, I'm the only one in New York that like took footage. So here's what happened, right? The embargo said like May 6th, May 7th, whatever it was, at 12 p.m. That's when you could talk about this. And I'll be honest, B dropped it like 5 minutes before 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think he did it strategically. And I love B. I've been messaging him. I have nothing against him. B posted it. It went on Pinside. That's how quick it went. Wow. People on Pinside were starting to take screen grabs and posting B's link. And then B took it down. Like he set it to private. And then at like 12 o'clock, he aired it.
Back up.
Dude, okay. B's video has like 9,000 views.
Does it really?
And it was all within like that, like 2 hours. It was mind-boggling. It was crazy. So me and B's video went out. And then like that night, like, podcasters went on and they're like, who the fuck are these guys? Like who did Stern hire to talk about? And then that's when I
hired some Arcade 1-Up guys.
Yeah, I've been called Arcade 1-Up. I've been called an influencer and a content creator. I was like, wow, this is kind of new. Like I've never been labeled that. And that was it. So the real thing why I think Stern invited the podcasters out, all these real people, a couple of the podcasters interviewed Gomez that works for Stern, and each podcaster said, why did you guys invite these randos, and why didn't you invite like the people that are really into pinball? And then I feel like after a week went by, they're like, okay, you know what, like they're pissed at us, let's invite them.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that you and B aren't really randos. You're randos to those guys,
right?
But you're also not randos at pinball because you guys are into pinball. You build your V pens. You have real.
Yeah, I own machines. That was like my main thing.
Yeah,
I was like,
he has real V pen machines.
He's on the lender program or whatever it is. It's like
he's got the lender.
That's also another thing now. These podcasters, they're upset about the loaner program. They're like, yo, like. Why don't you give it to? Then that's where it kind of turns into like, why is it like, why not me? Why you?
Right.
It like I said, it was a cool rise for like 5 days.
Are you in the club or not? Because like I went to a pinball hall with B. B knows pinball, like he does.
Yeah.
But he's not in the club. He's not one of the people that just does pinball.
Right.
And so he doesn't have their respect or something crap like that.
Right. Now, what's really cool with this that I was really excited for, this Stern invite from, to these other people, Ralph got the invite.
Really?
Retro Ralph got invited. Yeah. He did a whole video on it. And I texted him. I was like, oh, dude, like, I'm so happy for you. You got to go and, like, play it. And it's actually funny. When I went to play John Wick, I actually messaged Ralph. And I wrote to him. I was like, hey, bro, I just got one question for you. ... I wrote, embargo? ? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, oh, you didn't like. I felt so bad because I thought he would have been.
Sorry. You weren't there. Oh, my bad. Oh,
no, it was more like the way I understood it that
right there. It's like, oh, you didn't get invited to play this.
He's like, but he's in the loaner program, so I was like, I thought maybe all the people in the loaner program got invited, but then he's in like Phoenix, so I'm like, oh shit, I should have thought of that because it was like New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, that'd be pointless to invite him. Then they actually have to fly him out.
Right.
I mean, I felt bad. I was like, oh, shit. But I'm pretty sure Ralph is the type of dude where it's like, if I said to him, like, hey, come to New York and come with me, then he'll come with me. I feel like he would do that.
So when you say that they got invited to Chicago, they got invited to the Chicago Pinball Expo in October?
No. They got invited to Stern.
Oh.
Like, Stern's factory is in Chicago.
Okay.
So they had a whole behind-the-scenes tour of the factory they got like a 90-minute sit down with like all the owners, understanding how like
but as a group
licensing works and all that.
But as a group, not a
then they got to
one-on-one.
spend all day and play.
But you got a one-on-one, and they got
I got a
group,
one-on-one, yes.
and they got a group.
Yeah.
So there's 8 dudes playing pinball and going on this tour of the facility.
Yeah,
you still got the better deal out of that one.
I did. It's like I said, the cool thing is like I said in my video, I'm like, you may not know me and B, but like now you do.
Right. Now they know your names in the community.
Right.
And you're not just a nobody anymore in the community. Now they got to get to know who you are in that community.
Correct.
Because you've been around in that community for a few years. You know, you're just not kind of like behind the scenes and you're not a named guy in the community.
That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't your opinion matter less because you were in the club?
Your opinion should matter more because you're a nobody in the community.
Right.
No
There's so many ways to go about it. I feel bad. I mean, I'm not going to speak for B, but B told me like how he's feeling. And I felt bad, honestly, for B. The way he's feeling. He, what's the wording?
He doesn't want to do more content or anything?
No. He,
discouraging?
No, he feels like it's a very, and like I said, it's not, I can't tell him, like, I can't tell you how to feel.
Right.
But he took it like as a race kind of thing. He's like, I feel like I got the hate because he's Asian. And I was like, oh. He's like, it's a very white dominant, activity, hobby. And he's like, because I'm not white, he's like, that's why people like hated on it. I was like, no, B. I was like, don't think of it. But I can't say that if that's how you feel.
Well, no, you can't invalidate the way he's feeling about it, but you can at least say like, hey, I also got hate.
Right. That's what I said. I was like, I got hate, but he took it as that.
B is born and raised in Torrance, California. I don't know, like. And he's also he's Cambodian, honestly. And he doesn't speak the Cambodian language either. I don't know if that's not white enough. Like, how much more? Like, that's like a Wonder Bread white already. Okay, and I went to his house. There's no Asian people within like 5 miles. Okay, there's no people within 5 miles of him already. So
hater like, okay, you're pretty white, but you're not white enough.
Yeah, you're not white enough.
And he totally talks
I don't
like
know how much
like a white dude.
More American you can be than that. Like,
B doesn't have an accent or anything. He totally talks like a white dude. He kind of talks like this.
It annoys me that because he's such a positive dude. And then like people just beat him up for it. Like, and I got beat up too for it. Like I said, I can give two shits, but
I think he's probably dealt with that shit before. So when he got some hate, he just defaulted to it's that again.
Every Asian guy that's born and raised here will deal with that sometime in your life. Like, whenever it's just natural.
Whenever B would swear live, it's always like shocking to me because he doesn't. Because I don't imagine.
Yeah, whenever B actually has like any kind of like sense of like he lost his temper for a moment, like whoa, where did that come from? It's so rare. But actually, oh shoot, B just called me up last week. He was just in town for work. And we were gonna get together. He wanted to get together with me, but like I was mentioning real life, I've been just like crazy, and I had to like say like, sorry, man, but I realized it is It must have been a reoccurring work event because it was this week last year was the first time I met him face to face when he was in town for the same thing.
Awesome.
So I told him like, I'm definitely going to catch you next time, but he's just like, for the record, he's a super nice guy. He's in for work. Yeah. This. And he's like, hey, I'm in for 3 days. Do you want to get together and play some pinball? I'm like, oh my God, I so would want to do that. But But yeah, it's a super nice guy. And if he felt like, he was being targeted for a certain reason, like, we can reassure him these are just dicks. They would have gone after anybody. So
right.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, like that. I even said like, it's so funny with my videos. They're like, oh, this guy's talking about and trying to promote. I wasn't even trying to promote. I was just talking about the game. He's like, this guy's talking about Stern machines, but he's got like Jersey Jacks in the background. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, like you said, everybody's gonna talk shit. No matter what you do, you can be perfect and talk shit. To be fair,
none of them are actually getting paid. By the way, like
right. That was the thing. That was my biggest argument.
That's a different story.
Right.
Yeah. You're just getting to play the game for fun. That's it.
That was it. I even said that. I was like, they're all like, oh, why did Stern reach out to these? I was like, I didn't talk to Stern.
We're not promoters.
I talk to Stern.
Yeah, we're sellers, but we're not promoters. Like we don't have to shill for anybody unless you want to pay us. Anyone watching, if you want us to shill for you, not a problem. Yeah, you put the money on the table, all right? We will share.
I would probably put a sticker on the bottom left that goes, "This is a shill because I'm getting paid."
Oh yeah,
like then it's like that. That's like where B Kong has like the thing on the top when he starts a video. It goes like, "This is a paid promotion."
Yeah, like we will strip, we will play games, we will strip and play games. We have no shame here. It's not a problem.
I will shill for people I don't even know. Like no joke. I got a cold call a couple years back from an app I had downloaded on my phone. And I thought it was like a prank call, but no, literally this app called Scoop Shot called me up and said, "Hey, we saw that you're a user of ours and you're in Baltimore. The local Baltimore news station wants to do a morning puff piece on our app. Would you do that for us? We'll give you some talking points." And this, I'm like, okay. So I was on the morning news, like shilling for Scoop Shot. And it's funny, they put it on TV at work. And so people were walking through, my brother and I work together, and there I'm on TV. And it's like, somebody goes, my brother's like, "Why is your brother on the news?" Like, he's shilling for some app that called him yesterday. He's a whore. He's a whore.
Holy shit.
Like I said, I feel like no matter what, and it's actually funny, like, what was that? Like right now, I guess I hit a certain amount of like TikTok things. So now I have now the TikTok shop. Like, I'm able to like put stuff on TikTok shop. So I'm getting a bunch of people like, "Hey, we see you, and like, do you want this?" And I'm like, "Do you have anything gaming related? Because I would love, you got a handheld, and I'll post a video. I'll do that. Anybody would do that. Anybody would do that.
Absolutely.
I get shills for karaoke speakers all the time. Like they'll send me like little speakers here and there, and I just give them away afterwards. But it's fun to get.
Yeah, why not?
So you got to teach me hashtags for TikTok, man, because I got to get.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, it's just a lottery. It's
I tried Ghostbusters.
Dude, I need over 1,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh, dude's brought up a thing now. I actually wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. I was going to mention a lot. We could go on and on because there's so much that has happened, right? One of the things that happened, and we're glossing over this. Ghostbusters came out. Like we were
Nobody's done it.
I didn't even know that was an arcade game.
Yeah, no, it's not as ubiquitous as like The Walking Dead was or Jurassic Park was. But when Jurassic Park came out around the holidays, we were all talking about it. It was a lot of buzz when it dropped, a lot of excitement. Will it, won't it? We were waiting for it. Dropped, huge coverage on YouTube about it. Then Walking Dead came out and no one was talking about it.
It was crickets.
Like, it just, everyone forgot. And now Ghostbusters is out and no one's talking about it. Yeah.
So, the game itself, right? I'm the first one to play it within us because these cheap motherfuckers did not buy their Patreon code.
I did this morning. I just re-upped this morning.
I got the code. Yeah. I downloaded it. I just haven't done anything with it.
All right. So I have it done. I have my auto map and whatever done. But yes, there are two main issues. One, the game is extremely short. It's literally a game where in the arcade, you shoot a mounted positional gun and balls.
I don't see that as being an issue.
Will shoot at the screen, right? But the game only lasts about 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes. That's it.
Really?
All right?
Really?
Yeah, it's really quick.
Maybe that is an issue.
I'm actually trying to look up like what this cabinet looks like.
It's discontinued already.
Yeah, it's funny.
This is like one of those water gun games.
I forgot the name of it. They made another one, but instead of balls, it actually shoots water at a screen.
Yeah,
but it's in a little like cotton booth. But yeah,
my Dave & Buster's has one of those.
It does. Yes.
Ray, did you say it was a ticket game?
It's a ticket redemption game. If you beat the puff ball, the marshmallow thing at the end, you get tickets. Yeah,
and then just a 4-minute level.
The whole game can be completed in about like 3 to 4 minutes. Not the level, the whole fucking game. Like
it's like one mission.
Yeah, it's like 2 missions, and then you play the puff bonus if you beat those 2 missions. And it's not. And in arcade, I vaguely remember there's auto fire. You can hold it down and it'll keep blasting. On the emulation, I don't know if it's because there's no balls or whatever. You have to keep pressing the trigger each time.
Yeah, that's gonna work out.
Even with that, it's so easy to beat. And there's still a crash right now where if you try to set the difficulty to harder, it crashed out Technoparrot. So that we're still waiting for a fix on that one. So
are you bleeding?
Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I'm alright.
Pop a pimple on your ear?
I don't know what I did. I went like this and. Yep.
Ears get old and weird boils pop on their ears at the stream.
Yo, for real.
But now I'm looking at there's 2 different designs of this cabinet. It looks like a Luigi's Mansion style cabinet, and then it looks like the water gun cabinet.
The water gun cabinet is the one. The Luigi's Mansion one, I think, is a different game.
Show the viewers.
It said there win 500 bonus.
You can share the screen. Let's see.
Yeah, present.
I've seen one in real life. That's it.
Enhance.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I was on a different computer.
Yeah. Castlevania is still broken on the last Dracula level on NVIDIA GPUs, which is a little bit annoying because that's the best level.
What's broken with it?
It crashes.
Dracula is black. No, it doesn't crash. Dracula, you can't see him. It's a graphics issue.
I mean, it's game over really when that happens. So it's
shares
the game. You can see like some shadows of him moving around, but like yeah,
It's funny because earlier it was an audio problem. We didn't really have a lot of graphical problems.
Okay, I'm sharing screen.
I unlocked all the levels and everything on mine. So, but I love the Castlevania game because I built a gunfire.
Yeah, so the one on the, not that one, but the other one, the open one. That's what.
Yeah, that's what we see.
If you look at this, it says win. It says win 500 tickets, and then this one says win 500 tickets.
Open that one again. Open the Arcade Heroes one again. Interesting.
It says video emption.
Yeah, redemption. Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's a redemption game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh no, it's two. Yeah, it's the same
video.
game.
Play the video.
I think it's yeah. They don't show you the fucking cab.
Oh, it's like a video capture of it.
I think it's the same game, just the outer cabinet is nicer.
Well, I mean, right now you played it. Is this how it starts?
Yes, that's how it starts. Yeah. So you can see like
oh, look at the balls.
Yeah, like
what the fuck? What's the point of the balls?
The ping pong balls.
What the fuck?
And they're finding new ways to like make it an eye catcher in the arcade.
Yeah,
like
it's legit ping pong balls. Yeah, it's shooting balls. Yeah,
it's supposed to shoot when you lock onto a ghost, but like in the emulation, it doesn't lock.
Seeing the little ping pongs like float around there. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that old game Turkey Shoot, where an air cannon shot feathers up inside the screen.
Yeah. This is so stupid. What is this? Who made this? Who made this game?
Somebody for a cash grab.
It's not like Raw Thrills, is it? You got slimed.
It almost looks like a Raw Thrills cabinet. I bet you it's an Namco cabinet.
No, it's not Namco. It's it is Raw Thrills.
No, I think that's just the ad on the right. Oh, by Ice.
Ice Amusements. Yeah, their game's not great.
You've been iced.
I got an Ice by me actually. I have like an Ice actual legit seller by me. Hey,
I mean, I do know they have the original Ghostbusters arcade game. I know
that's a vintage one. That's a completely different game.
That game kind of
look at this.
Oh, that wasn't the original arcade.
Yeah, that game kind of sucks.
Ghostbusters is reskinned.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Raw Thrills. Raw Thrills is promoting it. Oh well, I guess it's just like a hey hashtag Ice. Any videos of this? Adam, did you guys cover this?
Yeah. So the graphics look nice, but the game is very disappointingly short. I've never finished an arcade game so quickly in my life. I was like, what the fuck?
So what's the other issue?
Huh?
What's the other issue? You said there were
auto fire. So the auto fire is the issue. So it's not like you can hold it down. You have to keep clicking the trigger. I don't know if that's how it is due to the emulation with the controls, but I feel like that might be fixed later on. Yeah, so you have to keep like clicking the trigger. And
so is it worth the $5 a month for Technopirates to play this game?
$6.
Not this one, but the other games are worth it. Like let's see.
I was honestly like I've been team viewing in on that guy Kevin, and there's a lot of actual shooter games that are Patreon. I was very surprised.
So I was planning. I was going to make a Ghostbusters video where it was like Ghostbusters out. But by the way, it gives me a chance to complain about the new Technoparrot shop and their tiers for subscription based are nonsense names with weird dollar amounts. And they're not even in the right order. It's not like 1 subscription, 2 subscription. It's 1, 10, 5, 22, unlimited. It's all over the place. Also, they
send a new code every month.
Well, yeah. Well, but the bigger issue, of course, I got a lot of hate. I think I did a video on Scarlet Dawn or Jurassic Park or both. Anytime there was a Technoparrot at the time Patreon game, everyone's like, oh, we hate on it because we shouldn't be paying this. And I was like, hey, if people want to pay, let them pay. And later it'll be free and then anyone can play. That's not been the case.
No.
Fucking Terminator and Aliens 2 years in Patreon. It's no sign that they're coming out.
Yeah, they're milking it.
It's like if something's Patreon, it stays Patreon now. Or whatever, was subscription now. So, and it's like, I was like, hey, live and let live. I'll pay $6 to support them. But now I'm starting to get really pissed off,
I'm starting to get annoyed at that too, man. We've been waiting almost, you're right, 2 years for Terminator and Alien to go free, and they haven't. They should do a rotation of subscription games.
Right.
Like when one comes out, put another one, release one.
And I would be still of the camp of like, hey, I'm not paying $6 so I can play Ghostbusters another month. I'm paying $6 so yeah, I get early access, but I'm supporting their work because eventually it all makes free anyway. So when you have the choice, but when they take that choice away and say, oh, well, it's like for literal years, this is going to be subscription required. I'm like, well, then fuck you. I'm not going to pay you for years for this.
Those shitty fucking big buck hunter games have been.
Oh yeah, those are
Patreon
still free. I'm
longer.
looking at the list right now. Castlevania should be free because Castlevania is emulated standalone already, so we have an option, and the Technoparrot version.
Yeah, but you gotta
has nothing
remember
better.
though, Ray. You know, people to get that standalone,
Well,
it's like
It doesn't make sense.
it's
They
a 20-step process, whereas Technoparrot is a.
Out of working, I have.
Yeah,
I can,
but-
Like I'm saying, for any RAN though. I mean, I know you got it.
Tomb Raider was released on Technoparrot for free, and we got the PC version the same day for free.
Tomb Raider
And that
version on Technoparrot is still broken though.
No, but the Tomb Raider one wasn't it released free because the PC one was already out, and they're like, screw it, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe,
We'll put our version out too.
Yeah,
I could already
Argon
do that.
already got that one working first, but the resolution is still broken on the TP one. Even
Now,
at
tell
1080p.
me, educate me now. But what other? So again, you got Terminator, you got Alien,
We
you got
got okay,
Ghostbusters,
America's Army
Target
is
Terror, I
for
think,
free.
or
Target Terror. We have
Target Terror is
Injustice. Injustice is
wait, is Target Terror broken or not?
It's still broken.
still broken.
Oh, so
And then
okay.
Police Trainer is broken.
Police Train is okay now.
It's
Is there
okay
a
now?
Virtua Cop?
Virtua
No.
Cop 3 wasn't Technoparrot.
No, that's us, Chihiro. Mario Kart GP, the DX, the newer version is a Patreon one with some more unlocked levels, some Gundam games that no one's ever going to play because they're all in Japanese and no one
Yeah.
can speak that. All right. Pac-Man Chop Mania, which is a redemption style Pac-Man. It's just basically Pac-Man. That's
Yeah, but those redemption style games is like Galaga, where that
Yeah.
shit after like 5 minutes you get
It's
30
not-
ships.
right.
What
Point
about-
Blank X is a big one, but no one has the dump. Primeval,
Wait.
Hmm?
So they have Point Blank X, but it's not.
no one has
That's
a dump.
They have
Nobody
support
has
for it,
the
but
game.
nobody has the dump of the
Yeah,
game.
Primeval Hunt is relatively broken without a second screen.
Walking Dead, right? Vidal points
Walking
out.
Dead is great. Walking Dead works perfectly.
Walking Dead, I
Jurassic
feel
Park
like
is
is-
still Patreon.
I feel like Walking Dead is slow. Like when you're playing it, I feel like the game is just a
I've never
slow
played it.
paced game in general.
you
I
have
don't
to
feel
shoot.
like-
You have to shoot the head. So
I know
yeah.
you gotta shoot the head, but I'm saying like just like the on rail movement, just it doesn't feel fast. It feels
Yeah,
slow.
well, it came right on the heels of Jurassic Park, which is a very like everything's flying at your face. The
It's
whole time.
about the same
Right.
speed as the Aliens, Armageddon, and Terminator because it's the same guns. Basically, it's made by Raw Thrills, so the refresh rate and the movement rate is potentiometer
Yeah,
based.
I was just saying, it's just the game just kind of feels slow
Yeah.
to me. That's all. Like,
That's
like,
why
I'm
it
not,
didn't get
I
so much
wasn't-
like praise when it came out.
I'm not
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to go play The Walking Dead on Technoparrot. I'm like, yo, I need to play some Jurassic Park on Technoparrot.
Oh,
I'm not
Virtua
like, oh, I
Fighter
need to
5
play
is a good one. Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdowns and the various other ones are pretty good.
Cruise and Blast is Patreon or a subscription.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
Oh
the
yeah,
Cruise
and Cruise and Blast, Dead Heats. That's about it. That's worth it. Oh, Arctic Thunders. A lot of Raw Thrill games, basically. Raw Thrills and Sega Lindbergh.
Arctic Thunder, Arctic Thunder. I'm thinking about Hydro
Ar-
Thunder.
Yeah, Arctic Thunder. 2000.
the
2000
snowmobile
yeah.
one.
Mhm.
What's HD Recoil?
What is HD recoil?
HD Recoil is an add-on to Maim Hooker, basically, or like a replacement to Maim Hooker that actually the recoil speed is a little bit more in sync with the game. It's a little faster. I haven't tried it yet because you have to download like a JavaScript node.js thing. One of my customers actually wrote it. But the problem with that is Gunfire R recoils and some other recoils, they may not be able to handle that high speed of recoil for that long.
Yeah, no, that I have a problem with using some of the various speeds of recoil on the Aliens arcade guns, the Aliens Extermination.
Right. You
When
might
I'm
not
playing,
it might not-
certain, like
Mhm.
Scarlet Dawn. There's some special weapons you can get, like the Gatling guns or whatnot, where the fire is faster, and it actually fires faster than the solenoids in those guns can kick.
right.
So they start getting off timing, and
Mhm.
it starts like really fast, and then like no recoil for a minute, and then slow recoil, then fast again.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it actually
the
kinda
solenoid has
overloads.
overheated. So yeah,
Yeah.
even commercial grade solenoids aren't really meant to do that because Scarlet Dawn is a rumble game. Actually, the gun is actually a vibration motor that can go continuously for a while. So like that's why retro shooter guns they decided to use motor because spinning a motor there's not much heat issues. But if you're gonna use a real solenoid,
An electromagnet in it. Like
Yeah,
imagine like your
sometimes you gotta
foot
light the heat
pinball
that
doing
comes off.
that, you know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep.
there is a pull time between the piston and the hit. So if your game's recoil is faster than that pull time, because it's using a motor originally. They want one rotation versus one pull. It's going to be off by like, a couple milliseconds, and then it may cause issues.
It snowballs the longer the recoil goes. So it's
Halo is probably not going to be dropped for a while because it's still in the arcades. So
the new version of Halo is just coming out now with the tethered guns, the battle rifles versus the mounted guns.
If anyone wants to pay like $2,000, I'll buy the.
Somebody said the new tethered battle rifles don't have recoil, and that's weird because I heard them clicking in a video. I don't know if they meant they were looking for like a moving part recoil.
Yeah, they have an internal
recoil. They think moving part. Sometimes they think it means a vibration motor. Sometimes they think it's a solenoid. Recoil. Like, what do you mean by recoil? So
they have a solenoid. I checked the specs already. I looked at the internals. I was going to do the mod, but it's like $1,000 for that gun plus shipping. So only when a customer says I'm willing to pay for it, then I'll do it.
Yeah. Now Jurassic Park. Now you need MAME hooker for the recoil.
No, you don't.
Awesome.
It's nice to have. It'll pulse to the game. But if you use HD recoil, like it'll enable the rumble and the recoil to work together faster. You might like the effect better if your gun can handle it. Depending on what
to answer Vic, you actually do need MAME hooker to get to get the recoil.
Yeah, you got to get correct. Right.
You don't need the HD recoil to make it work.
I mean, recoil will work in general, but the MAME hooker is just going to do the thing to it that it does.
I know. So like when I learned how to do MAME hooker with Brad's video, if you actually watch MAME hooker, it's just 010101.
It's activity, right?
So what makes this HD recoil different than MAME hooker? I don't get it.
It runs faster.
The 01 goes faster.
No, it hooks to something else in the game. I don't know the specifics of it, but a few of my clients said it was pretty cool.
MAME hooker.
Ice gun? What ice gun? I don't have an ice gun.
I gotta still look at that guy's MAME hooker thing.
That's a lot of work. I rarely keep my guns anymore. I sell almost everything I have. I'm down to like gun cons and like one aliens gun that I just sold today. So that's it.
Yeah, I love gun cons.
And I wanted to also talk about or something that again we're playing catch up now. This is we're finishing out all that happened in spring.
We're talking about May.
Joel went to Facebook headquarters.
I went with him.
Oh yeah. Ray came with me.
Yeah. So two of the Musketeers were at Meta in New York, like big time, delivering product. Tell us about it, guys.
Yeah, what a dude. Well,
we didn't deliver it. We went to tech support.
We went to go do a presentation, and it ended up being tech support. Is what it ended up being. So for one, Estes completely fucking fucked up the delivery. What were they delivering first? They were delivering. So Meta purchased my 4-player Mega Lizard arcade, my 43 and 4-player Mega Lizard arcade, and they also purchased my Guitar Hero arcade. So I had both of those delivered to them. Estes was supposed to. So there's a certain way to deliver to the building, and there's certain requirements in order to get into the building because their loading dock is actually in like a garage. You have to go down to the garage, so you're not fitting an 80-foot trailer in Manhattan into this building, right? You need like a box truck, kind of like when you pick up for me. And I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but Estes completely fucked it up. But it was a huge fuck up on Estes because my contacts at Facebook had the contacts for the Estes people, and they sent them written requirements from the building itself to get into there. Like they had to have like 10 million in like umbrella insurance. They had to have a certain size truck. So the delivery was supposed to be that Friday before Memorial Day. So that Friday Memorial Day weekend. And the driver got lost and had the wrong size truck. He got lost in Manhattan and had the wrong size truck. And there was a guy that was delivering in a normal size truck at the Facebook headquarters, a usual apparently. And he offered to go meet the Estes guy outside, rescue the load, and bring it to him, right?
Wow.
That didn't happen because the fucking truck driver got fucking lost. And he ended up going back to the fucking Estes headquarters and was just like, fuck it, right?
Wow.
So there was a whole spiel. I apologized to Facebook about the situation. They knew it wasn't my fault. They're like, yo, Estes just completely fucked this up. They're like, why didn't you use FedEx? I'm like, no.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, no. I'm like, that thing wouldn't have even made it there. I'm like, that shit would have got Ace Ventura on the truck. So the following Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day comes, and the dude goes to deliver it again. He's in the same size fucking truck.
Oh, shit.
Right. So Facebook's pissed now at SDs, so they call SDs, they're emailing them, and I'm getting CC'd on the emails. They're fucking pissed, and I don't blame them for being fucking pissed, right? So there was a dude right next door at 20, whatever the address is. Facebook is 50. There's an SD's truck right next door at 20. That was the size truck that they needed to get in. So that driver rescued the load, and then he took the load to the building and got it in there. And they wanted to. So I paid to have it delivered into the building and up to the 51st floor. No, SDs wouldn't do it without an extra charge. They called it white glove service.
Oh yeah, white glove. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, it was like an extra like $300-400 charge.
Wow.
And I was like, I told Facebook, I'm like, I'll take care of it if that's what you want to do. And they were like, no, we'll take care of it. They're like, we'll just have this thing delivered here and we'll take it upstairs. I'm like, all right, I'm like, just be careful. I'm like, my biggest concern was the Mega because of all the shit inside it and the deck. The deck is only secured on with 2 fucking bolts. Thanks, Game Room Solutions, for that. So if you try to lift up on the deck, that deck would have ripped out. Yeah, right out.
Yeah.
And then I was concerned about all the shit on the inside of it too. Like what's going to fall. And they turned it on and everything turned on and worked and it was okay. So I'm like, okay, but the Guitar Hero wouldn't turn on. It would load up or it would turn on and it would go to the screen and you can hear the PC running, but it wasn't getting a video signal and it was working before it left. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm coming down there, on Thursday. So we flew in. Ray met me there. Thank God, because Ray has a drill. So Ray met me there, and we went inside, and it was really cool. I felt overdressed. I was wearing a polo shirt and a pair of jeans, and I felt overdressed because one of our contacts met us, and he's wearing t-shirt and shorts and sandals in an office. Yeah, and this office was like completely high tech. Like Ray and I went to security. Security's like, take the elevator up to 31, and the elevator only goes to 31. It's a dedicated elevator.
Digital. Like I couldn't even figure out how to hack that, how to use the elevator.
We couldn't do shit. So we walk in the elevator. Elevator takes us up to 31, and then we have to get off at 31, wait for our contact, get in another elevator, and then go up to 51.
Wow.
Yeah. So the elevator only went to 51. It was a dedicated elevator to that one. It was cool. We were there for like 2 hours. So what ended up happening is with the Guitar Hero, we weren't getting a video signal, but the PC was firing up. But it sounded like it was almost the CPU fan was running high, right?
Okay.
So like you can hear it. And I'm like, okay. So Ray's like, remove how much RAM is in it. There were 16 gigs of RAM in it. And he's like, remove the RAM. So I removed 2 pieces of RAM or 2 gigs of RAM or two bars. Yeah, fucking thing fired right up.
Yeah, bad RAM.
So yeah, I'm holding the RAM in my hand, and it's a bullshit refurbished Dell Optiplex. It wasn't refurbished at all. It said refurbished Dell Optiplex, and it had 2 different color RAM. It had a blue one and a green one. So whoever had it definitely used 2 different DDR3 RAMs inside it. And when that happens, it's not gonna work right. So we got that running, and we went over to the Mega, and I was going to do the presentation on the Mega. There's like 5 of these dudes. They're just jamming out on Guitar Hero.
Oh, cool.
Pretty good at it too. They
were super good at it. Yeah, they were real good at it. And so I'm working on the Mega, and like I'm like talking to my contact, and I'm doing. His name was David. I was talking to David, and I'm like showing him how to use the Mega, and I go to grab the controller. Because it had 2 wireless controllers with it. I go to grab the controller. My controller's not syncing. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, everything worked before it left.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's embarrassing when that shit happens and you're the customer, right? Because it happens all the fucking time. So I'm also looking at the screen, and I noticed that 2 of the Gun for IR sensors are not there. And I'm like, right. I'm like, okay, we got to open this up. So we open up the back of it. The sound bar fell. And it took out the 2 sensors, and it ripped out the
dongle.
Yeah, it ripped one of the dongles out, and then it also ripped out one of the USB port that was that had the extension on it for the controllers. It ripped that out too, but all of it was salvageable. Like it didn't break it; it just ripped it out. Thank God!
Wow.
Right? Wow. So Ray brought sticky tape with him, so we re-sticky taped the soundbar up to the top. And you got to remember, and the ST's truck, that soundbar banging around, and it was wrapped up in fucking plastic, and it was like an 85-degree week, and it's sitting on those ST trucks like that. The tape probably gave away a little bit, obviously. but everything was salvageable, and we got that back up and running perfectly. And we got the controllers running exactly the way that they should. So I did a whole, I redid the presentation. I'm like, okay, now you grab the controller.
Now watch this.
Yeah, now it'll work, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't even worried about the Mega. They were fucking jamming on Guitar Hero.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they made a whole game room. So they had like a board games, they had the 2 arcades, and then they had like a little separate room in the back with 2 55-inch screens with an Xbox and a PlayStation on each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had like a whole game room going on in there for like employee lounge or like for kids to come in and play if kids are there. Cool. They took up 11 floors of the building, the guy said.
Damn.
So yeah, they offered us breakfast. They offered us to go to the cafeteria. I had to jet because I had to go to another customer's house. Ray had to go too because he had to go back home and do some work. But all in all, I had a really fun experience doing that. I thought that was a fantastic opportunity for me to even fly in and give that kind of customer service. I'm really happy now that I did, because doing that remotely, if that would have happened, oh my God, I'd have been on the phone with them for like 6 hours.
Oh yeah,
trying to troubleshoot and do shit.
Yeah, that was a hardware issue. That's not something that you would have been able to do remotely anyway. Remember that the USB that was powering the LEDs actually physically broke off.
Yeah.
Like it broke off a piece of the male USB port, the female USB port, and I had to use a scissor to pry out the piece of plastic. Luckily, that was salvageable.
Wow.
So we just plugged it into another port on the PC, so we're okay.
Wow.
But that was pretty bad. There was a sound issue that was lagging on like that NFL Blitz, right? Remember?
Oh, the Hertz.
Yeah, that was just
refresh rate.
Yeah, refresh rate was set at 30 because
it reset itself.
HDMI. Yeah, that's not a big deal. But there were just way too many games too. I felt like I could have just like hit it. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, I told David to contact. I'm like, if this machine, because they got the biggest machine with the biggest amount of games, it's 17,000 games on a 20 terabyte hard drive. I told him, I'm like, if this ever feels overwhelming to you, we can trim the fat.
Yeah, you can always hide stuff.
More. We can hide it. We can simplify stuff. We can just knock it down to the arcade games if you want to. I made sure I gave them written instructions. It took me a few days to write up I was going to like all these details with the Mega instructions. Like I had like 5 pages of instructions on it. And I'm like, you know what? This is too much.
Yeah.
And I fucking deleted it and I started from scratch and I knocked it down to like a 2-page instruction just to keep it as simple as possible, because the machine is pretty simple. There's a start button to start the game. There's an escape button to escape the game. The 2 buttons in the center are your volume. If it's a controller-based game, pick up the controller before you start the game, hit the start button to load the game, and you're going to work.
Right.
That's it. I mean, if it's a gun game, it uses the gun. If it's trackball, it uses trackball. If it's spinner, it uses spinner. If it's arcade, it uses the arcade sticks. So it's pretty basic and straightforward system. You just have to learn how to use it.
Right.
So,
that's how everybody is like that. You could be a pro. The other thing is like there's so many different people in the world where it's like somebody's like, I got this, Vic. Like Joel, I got this. I'm meta. I could do this. But then you get like people that are like, where's Pac-Man? Like, how do I start Pac-Man? And it's like,
the dude told us, David, when we were there, he told me and Ray that there's other offices. There's 2 more offices in New York, and they also ordered arcades for their offices. And then they also have one down in Florida. And he told us whoever they ordered it from, they don't even know how to use the machines. Right. And I'm like, maybe there's something I can do. Maybe there's something we can do. I feel like whoever they bought the machines from just kind of ghosted them. And it's like, why would you do
there's
that?
a lot of people that do that. Yes.
Yeah, but it's for a company like that. Why would you do that to that company?
Man, that's what's sad. People they go, okay, listen, you're gonna give me $5,000 for this Arcade Punk's image, and then they just disappear. That's it. It's sad. It does happen though. It's sad.
And it's sad. It really is. I did tell the dude that if they're ever in the market for a virtual pinball or a pinball machine, that I got a guy and it's you.
I appreciate it.
I got a dude.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like even that, like
Ray was trying to sell him karaoke.
Oh yeah. Why
not? You never know, dude.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah. I thought it was really cool. Ray was kind of chilling the whole time, and he was helping me. He was being my tech support for me, which was awesome. I'm like, I told the dude, I made a joke. I'm like, no, see, this is when tech support needs tech support.
It escalated.
Yeah,
that's so awesome. At least you're able to diagnose
level 2 support.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even know to remove the RAM. I would never even think that.
No, I saw 2 different colors. I'm like, that means someone mixed RAM, and that's
when it's not even posting. Then it's like, okay,
It's
There's
RAM,
only so many things you can do. One is
RAM, CPU,
RAM.
graphics card,
Right.
or hard drive.
But what
I
sucks
thought-
that it worked at Joel's place. So it's like it was just
Right
a matter
before
of
I left.
time.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
went.
Failure
I just had a
happens.
laptop I bought in October, and like no joke, the other day I was using it, and then it just went blue screen on me, and I'm like, Windows blue screen, but it won't even load from USB. Like I can't even reload Windows. I keep getting more blue screens. It was the RAM,
Wow.
Right.
like brand new RAM. I pulled the RAM out, and again, like you guys, I didn't even swap the RAM. I just put one of the two sticks out, and like I can boot
It
now.
fired right up.
Yeah. So
I still wouldn't use those refurbished Dell Optiplexes. Anytime I see that would be like that's something. Oh, Bobby, that's not me. I'm not the guy that did a touchscreen. I don't even have a gaming coffee table. I think you're talking about B. But yes, you can do that too. You can put a digitizer on top of anything, and it'll become a mouse touchdown. I do that for my karaoke.
Thinking device.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, with the thing about the Dell Optiplex, I mean, again, I'm pretty sure Joel offers it, but in this realm, there's different price points. But in all brutal honesty, for a Guitar Hero cabinet like Joel sees, you could get away with it with the Dell Optiplex and probably a graphics card, right? What do you run, like a 1650?
1030.
Yeah, it doesn't even need it. It doesn't need that much power. You know what I mean? So,
at all. So that's why I'm like, why would I use a brand new PC when I can use the Optiplex, right?
Right. I'm
Price
pretty
is
sure
about the same, but reliability. It means like you won't have this RAM issue with a brand new PC. That's number one. But the problem is, you told me that you have graphic issues with the AMD.
Yeah, the Ryzen was
that's an issue. That's another issue.
Specifically with Guitar Hero 5, the game, it has a graphic issue. It's on Wii. It's got a graphic issue with the AMD Ryzen. I learned that because remember I was like, because Vic, you sent me the game. Remember I was like, yo, I'm having an issue with the game. I can't get it. This customer's telling me it's not running, but I know it runs.
Yeah.
And then I ran it on my real PC, the rig I'm on right now, which is an AMD Ryzen, and I was running into the issue. But when I run it on a Dell Optiplex, I didn't run into the issue. So it's definitely an Intel issue versus a Ryzen issue.
Right.
I mean, I could make a brand new PC with an Intel 5 on it, but I mean, I don't
think it's a Ryzen issue. I think it's because of the it's using AMD graphics.
Well, I mean,
it's a Radeon issue.
The Guitar Hero is also the only one
it might fix. I don't know, but then it'd be pointless.
The Guitar Hero is also the only one that's using that Dell Optiplex, and for the price point that my Guitar Hero is at, I probably should just remove that Dell Optiplex and go with the new motherboard. Is what I should do. I was doing that originally with the Ryzens, and then I ran into the issue with the Ryzen, and I'm like, well, fuck, I can't do this anymore. So I should probably just switch to like an Intel 5.
Were you doing Ryzen with NVIDIA graphics cards or AMD?
No. Ryzen with NVIDIA.
Oh, Ray, he was using NVIDIA.
Oh, you're using NVIDIA, and it was still giving an issue
with the AMD CPU.
Oh, then that means there's something.
I've been contemplating on switching over to Ryzen. I mean, I did down 2 V pins with Ryzen builds.
So the 1030 with an AMD CPU will give you the issue, right? That means that the Dolphin emulator was using OpenGL.
Well, Ryzen 5 with a 3060, which is the rig I'm on right now, gave me the issue too. And that's running GL or Vulkan.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And it's specifically only the Guitar Hero 5 game.
Just that one game, right?
Right, just that one game. So I could always switch motherboards and use an Intel motherboard if I wanted to, and just use that. I mean, so what? It's going to cost me an extra $100, but at the end of the day, that extra $100 is a brand new PC that's going.
Peace of mind.
It's peace of mind. It's brand new PC that's going inside it. The customer's still getting a brand new product. It's the only product I use with. Well, not the only product. It's just, I use 2 products with the Optiplexes. I got the mini Optiplexes for the gun boxes, which I don't have any issues with. It's just fucking sellers on eBay. And then I got the Guitar Hero that uses the full-size Optiplex. So those are the only ones that get the Optiplex. If I could fit a brand new PC inside the retro gun box, I would do that, but I can't.
Check it out. This is my latest mini build.
Holy shit, is that small?
Yeah, it's mini ITX. But I have a full desktop grade RTX 3060 or 4060 in here. I did a 3060 build this time. I was trying to see how low I could
build. What that cost you to build?
Little under $1,000.
Really?
Yeah, but this is a full these are all new parts. There's nothing used in here. It's 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM.
Appreciate you, Nick.
14th gen motherboard, 12400 CPU. So there's nothing cheaped out. It's a full metal case too.
Wow.
Nice.
Mini ITX. And even though it's a single fan GPU, it's not a laptop one. I tried a laptop GPU. It's very different. The power rating is significantly lower.
Oh no, I was playing around with. I just got a new laptop. I'm doing the stream right now. The yoga crazy thing, and it's a dual OLED laptop, but it's got nothing but Thunderbolt 4. But it's like it said it supports external GPUs, and I'm like, ooh. So I tried it out, and I was like doing some gaming on it and I was just connecting the GPU up through a Thunderbolt dock, and it works. And I was like, holy crap.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's also really cool.
It's a new world, guys. You can do anything. Like, just like it can be modular, it can be tiny, but you know, when you look at these giant monster graphics cards that you're seeing nowadays, and you think that the small form factor PCs, like, like square peg round hole, but no, you can, it's, Thunderbolt and all this stuff. It's you can make it all work. So
nice.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I have to bounce, guys, because
real life. Wait. Before you go, I want to thank Brad because now I own a Star Wars trilogy because of his house.
Yes.
Other things that happened before I bounce. Yes, that was amazing. So when Joel was here, he was playing the hell out of trilogy, but not well. You couldn't beat it. So
I know
he got butthurt over that too.
I did. I got so butthurt I bought one.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go build my own trilogy, and it's gonna have blackjack and hookers."
Yeah, exactly.
Did you beat it on your trilogy?
Not yet. No.
Oh
no.
Shit!
I haven't even done a full playthrough on it.
No,
yet.
You got to do the full playthrough, and I want to know. I want you to chime into the Musketeers here when you finally beat Second Death Star. Okay.
Of course, yeah, the Android Death Star.
Yeah. I want to. Joel put a video out working on his new. He's got the stand up, where I've got the sit down, but it, and you're doing the restoration, and you were working on the joystick, and you had some monitor issues that you got worked out. It's fucking awesome. That's great. That the first time he gets home, it's like he had seen a trilogy. And he revisited the cellar. It's just like, hey, let's talk about that Star Wars again, because now I'm on a mission. So,
my buddy had it. I played it. I got to get this one out.
So 7 years ago, I met the guy. He only wanted $300 for it 7 years ago. 7 years ago, he wanted $300.
How much you pay now?
But I had issues for it. I'm not telling you how much I paid. But I had issues with it. I did tell you guys how much I paid.
Yeah, he did tell us. Yeah,
I'm not going to say that publicly. Because I don't want anybody using that number as a leverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I messaged him back in October-ish. And because he had a yard sale and he popped up in Marketplace and I seen the trilogy still in his garage. And I messaged him, I'm like, you still got that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, how much are you looking for it? He told me $4,000 then. With the issues that it had with it, it had a freezing issue. And that was the only issue he knew about.
The game wasn't playable.
Right. He didn't even know there was a control stick issue because he hasn't even been able to play the game. So he only had the freezing issue and he didn't know what the problem was. He thought it was the board. I thought it was the board too, honestly. So that was October, and I'm like, I'm nowhere near that price. Like, I'll message you again. And on the way home from Brad's, I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, do you by any chance still have that trilogy? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, look, the last time we talked, you were looking at this number. I'm like, what if I offered you this? He's like, let me think about it. And he got back to me the next day, and he's like, it has issues. I'm like, I know exactly what the issues are that you told me 7 years ago. And I rehashed it with him. And he's like, yeah, that's it. And he's like, okay, and he went up in price by $200, and I'm like, I'll come pick it up tomorrow. So I went and picked it up, and I got it running. I talked to Repair Sega, Ken, who is a fantastic guy and incredible customer service. He told me to get a Naomi power supply, so I ordered 2 of them just in case one of them didn't work. So I have a backup power supply now, and he gave me the
specific power supply,
very specific power supply. And you needed a harness for it too. And the only guy that sells a harness for it is a French guy in France.
Yeah.
So
and I want to throw out there that this power supply is not the one used in the deluxe sit down. The Naomi power supply is only used in the stand up.
Right. So he gave me the link for that. I ordered them. They came in about 2 weeks. I plugged it in, fired right up, didn't even freeze because I couldn't get past the Sega logo. The Sega logo would load, and then that was it. Like, it would just freeze up on me. I couldn't get past it. I got past it like once after like turning it off and turning it back on. But it was, I'm like, I'm not fucking around with this. As soon as I changed the power supply, it worked. It was good. But then I realized I had the control stick issue. And I'm like, and I took it out, and it looked like a fucking Retro Lizard soldering job from 2007. Like, it was bad. It was real bad.
There was no amp board, which the stand up was supposed to have for its potentiometers. And so somebody was digging around in that thing, and
and Ken told me.
Yeah,
Ken
so
told me
you
he
see
didn't
these in
need
arcades, and people like they
Yeah.
hack them to get them just working.
And he told me to get rid of the amp board if it did have the amp board too. He said it doesn't need the amp board, period. And I thought it needed the amp board because I wasn't centered. And he's like, no, it's the potentiometers that will center it out. The amp board actually dies eventually. So that's why you can remove the amp board. So mine didn't even have an amp board, but it was all a hack job that was done to it. I resoldered the wires together and I got it going. But I still have an issue. It's kind of jumpy. So I ordered new potentiometers. That's got to be the fix. I ordered new potentiometers. They should be here in about a week and a half.
Yeah, I like that. I was jittery on mine, but I hit them with deox, and that cleared me up. It was just on my x-axis. So my biggest thing for my stick was
maybe I hit the deox. I did order them in case I need them, but maybe I hit the deox.
Yeah, deox worked really well for me. Just one of mine was the x-axis was jittery.
That's what mine is. It's when I'm moving it, it's jittery as I'm moving it.
Yeah. So deox it and then work that pole, Joel. Deox a little bit more, and then work that pole and see if it's any better. You know.
So, but my daughter, because we had my kid's birthday party today, and my brother was here, and my daughter hopped on it, and she was playing it. She did a full playthrough all the way through Endor. She didn't beat Endor though, but she did a full play all the way through the second Death Star, and it played great. So she, I mean, you can definitely see when she was playing that there was an issue with the stick still, but she was able to play through the game and at least get 60 to 70% on each level. So that wasn't bad. So the game is more than playable.
Yeah,
so,
and Bobby points out the upside down can. So upside down can duster, that'll clean out like the potentiometer, but deox is actually going to get the oxidization off of it. So it's a little better. Also, deox evaporates a lot faster than whatever's coming out from your propellant from a duster. Yeah, so
whatever you're huffing.
Right. So, but no, that was awesome. But I got to bounce. I got to do a little bit more real life stuff, but it is getting better, and I'm going to be back. I'm going to be doing some more YouTube videos coming up, also more shorts, because Vic says that's how you get popular. So I want to be like Vic.
Yeah.
And guys, let me know when next stream is. All right, I will be there. All right.
All right.
Yes.
See you, Brad.
Later, Brad.
Later, Brad. We're probably gonna kill this in like 10 minutes. Probably gonna kill this in like 10 minutes, anyways, because it's almost going on 2 hours.
Yeah, because honestly, I mean, you hit almost everything. Like, you know, I think Ray, do you have, I mean, Ray's got some new like karaoke stuff. I saw like randomly. I think you made a short too, right? Did you do a short?
Yeah, I did a short video. Yeah, but it's already pretty good. That one's already sold. So
Ray, I want you to talk to me about your karaoke.
Oh, right. So
I want to incorporate that into the.
All right, since we're here,
but I want to build it into the cabinet. So I'll raise the monitor up because I got 7 inches that I can raise the monitor up for that marquee. So I'll raise the monitor up so that it's higher. I probably should do that anyways. And then I'll put his. I can put that. That looks big.
Okay, so here's what we can do
on that.
This is 18. So this is our 18-inch karaoke, all right? It's obviously self-contained, so we don't have any issues here, right?
Right.
This one, which is what I was going to send to you, has a very simple output. It's got a HDMI here, all right? That's obvious, okay? We have a 12-volt power supply here.
Yep.
And we have left and right audio out, okay? That's it. This has a mixer built in, all right? A basic digital mixer. So as soon as you plug in that red and white to your amp, your pile amp, or whatever power speakers you're using, it's gonna work. The karaoke, you use this to pick songs.
Where do the mics go? You have 2 microphone inputs there, I think, right?
No, the mics are wirelessly connected. There's a wireless receiver inside here for the mics. Okay, so
no, what microphones work with that? Any kind of microphone?
No, it's free. It comes with it.
He gives it to you.
It comes with a mic.
Yeah.
So that's where I was confused because he's like, it's got built-in microphones, and I'm like, well, why would I use built-in microphone?
No. Sorry.
Right? Yeah. Like you wanna hold the mic is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it comes with 2 free metal microphones. Okay, and there's antennas in there that you don't see, and then you just sing. That's it. Very simple.
How much is that?
I'll give you the price. I gave you the price already, but we'll send you this one for like $600. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'll probably tell you. He'll privately tell you.
Well, it's not.
I've been waiting for that the whole time.
So yeah, this is because obviously your customers are 99% not going to be Chinese. I'm actually going to cheap out on it and put in an SSD instead of a big spinning hard drive because there's not that many English songs. There's more Chinese songs than there are English.
But can Joel
many-
download more songs, if anything?
Yes. So
How
how this
many
works?
English songs are there?
So in the entire library, right, for karaoke's, it's about like, let's call it like 100,000 English songs, okay? But you're not going to sing 100,000, obviously. That's just realistically never ever going to happen, right?
Right.
So what they do, it's like Spotify, right? Whatever hard drive you have, small or big, like it could be 1 terabyte, it could be 64 gigs, right?
Okay.
You're still going to see 650,000 songs, 100,000 English songs, right? But there's going to be a cloud icon next to the ones that are not downloaded yet. So when you tap on it, it'll download and it'll save to your hard drive. That song is now yours, and then you don't need Wi-Fi anymore when you want to sing it. That's all.
And it's free.
It's free. You pay one time, and
You basically buy the unit.
But
That's it.
are you downloading the songs individually after you get it? Like, say I buy it from you, then do I have to download the songs individually?
no. So on the system, right, when you turn it on, you're just going to see the library of songs. It's just going to be constantly updating.
How long does it take when you press the cloud button to play the song then?
So from when you download from the cloud, it'll take less than a minute usually to download a song. Sometimes 30 seconds. Okay, but
Okay.
then it becomes local in your hard drive. Then you never have to download it again. Obviously, it's not a streamer. It is not a streamer.
You got to think of it as an app, Joel.
Okay.
Like your app store, like an Apple app store.
I was just curious how many songs come on the hard drive itself.
Physically, if I give you like this 512 1 terabyte hard drive, you can hold about
None. The answer is none, Joel.
It'll come with songs. It'll come with songs actually.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. How many songs does it come with?
1 terabyte will come with, well, for English, it's not going to be too many. Like maybe 10,000 songs.
That's a lot of songs.
Right, but it might not be the ones you want. So
That's fine. That's still a lot of
we're
songs.
still
That's
rely on the cloud to download the ones you want, and then
a good jump off point, though.
that'll be down.
yeah. That's,
Right. 10,000 songs included.
Yeah, and
a
it
good
can also
jump-off
be
point.
run off a micro SD too. So there's a micro SD slot inside. So if somebody fucked up their hard drive by stupidity or corruption,
Right.
you can actually just pop it out and put it in a micro SD, and it'll work.
Nice.
I
Right.
kind of like that design because, dude, Joel probably could just make a cutout and then just have the TV just sit in it.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm going to do.
No, not viable because
What do you mean?
okay, so here's the touchscreen where you get a menu, you pick your songs like buying food
Yeah.
at McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The problem is with that is the on-off switch is in the back.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
right,
we'll just constantly leave it up.
he makes the hole underneath the TV. That's how I would do it. I would have
maybe
the TV. You have
I'll leave that to you guys to figure out.
Well, what I'm saying is, if the on-off switch is a switch, right?
Yeah.
So I would just switch it to on and leave it on.
right, and then just unplug.
So then
Yeah, but when you shut it off, you actually have to physically hit the switch to shut off. It's like a safe shutdown switch. So it's like a PC. You have to actually press it. It's like Windows.
Oh, you can't just unplug?
kill it. We can't just kill it.
You can kill it, but then you have nowhere to plug it back. You have nowhere to turn it back on. It's a toggle switch. It's not like a momentary. Technically, what you could do is you could break out the switch. It can be done. You can on the inside. You can break it out
So
into.
pay Ray to do that before he sends it.
Yeah, it's also possible. Yeah, I can do that easily.
So that's what I was just gonna say. Like, I need some kind of external switch or button.
Yeah,
Well,
So
I
we have
mean,
to turn it on.
yeah, I don't know.
honestly, if you wanted to get really fancy with it,
I'm
I've done
not
it.
fancy. I just want to be able to turn it on and off correctly.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only thing.
Yeah, we also have it in a way that it's two pieces. It's a CPU and a touchscreen is separate. That's also a version that we have, like a desktop. Imagine this is a laptop. We have a desktop variant too.
Right, but everything still's inside the cabinet.
Yeah. So the desktop variant, you can break out the switches much more easily. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So you could probably put like a computer, like an arcade button to power it on.
Yes,
Right.
you can. Yeah. I was actually technically
I
you
mean,
could deconstruct the whole thing and really like make a custom inlay design. That might be really cool.
I was gonna say. I mean, too bad I can't hook the Stream Deck up to it and put a shutdown on the Stream Deck or an on button
No.
on the Stream Deck.
You would have to just physically break out the switch. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So we got to physically figure out how to break out the switch. I could pay you extra for that.
That's easily done. Yeah.
We just need some kind of external button
Mhm.
that we could hook up is what we need to do. But the
Yeah, it's
problem,
not a
so-
momentary button. It's a latching button. That's all.
Yeah. So the problem is that if we hook a button up to it, I have to be able to remove the button though too, because I have to put the button into the wood because I got a flush mount it.
I can just give you 2 wire connectors.
Yeah, he'll
That's
give you
it?
he'll do it arcade style.
Yeah. There you
With
go.
an arcade button.
Dudes Arcade. Yes, you were saying I need one for my wife. So you need an American pub. Is a little bit hard to do because
I get so many people that ask me for karaoke on that Guitar Hero machine.
Yeah, that's it.
And I can't get like SingStar or anything to work on it.
Those like games, the game side of it is tough.
It is. Carlos, your gaming techie, he got karaoke to work on his machine, and he gave me the program, and I tried to use it, and I couldn't get it to work. Like I couldn't get the mics to work correctly, is what it was.
Oh, that I can help you with. That's easy.
Oh, you're talking about like for the Wii emulation, like
it was. I don't.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, that's a whole different.
I wouldn't
bother. It was a pain in the ass, right?
Me personally, like on my builds that I've done, I don't want to say it's a knockoff Ray, but like I just go on YouTube and
right.
You put the song like "Let It Go" karaoke.
Yes, you can do that.
It's the ghetto way, but in that realm, you already have your computer. You just launch Firefox.
There's a guy who I've been talking to for like 2 months, and he's going to be a potential customer, but he hasn't ordered anything yet, and he keeps asking me about stuff, and he keeps asking me if I can add on stuff, this and that. And one thing he asked me is if there's a Steam karaoke game, and he asked me if that works on my Guitar Hero cabinet, and I'm like, I don't know, I never played it.
There's a Steam karaoke game?
There's a Steam karaoke game, apparently. And he asked me if that would work on the Guitar Hero cabinet. I said, will it work? Yes. Will it actually work? I don't know because I never played it. So I don't know how it would work. I don't know how to hook up a microphone. He doesn't know how to do that.
You would hook up the mics to the mic input, the line input of your motherboard. The red one. Yeah.
Right. So he doesn't know how to do that. Right. That would be something that I would have to do, and I don't want to mess with that because you're adding on a game that I don't even offer into the system. So I don't know if it works or not because I never tested the game. I only will add a game if I know that it works. So because this guy asked me to add a bunch of DOS games to my Mega, and I got those working, but he wanted them specifically working with arcade sticks. That I got working with arcade sticks through RetroArch. That was actually really easy to do. I thought it was going to be more complicated. I got it working on Batacera, and Batacera is using the MS-DOS for RetroArch, so I downloaded the RetroArch version of that and for regular PC, and I got those games working on RetroArch that way with arcade sticks. Do they play well? I mean, they play about as well as they're going to play with an arcade stick.
Right.
So, I mean, they're not going to be perfect, but they're because those are keyboard and mouse games.
Right.
And he was asking me about the karaoke stuff. And I told him, if you want karaoke, you could just go to Arpeg Electronics and order their karaoke.
Buy an actual karaoke. This is one of those very dedicated things. Like it's not.
You might as well get a karaoke system.
Yeah. Right. So this is why I would offer the Guitar Hero, but I would call it the Ultimate Guitar Hero is what I would name that one because it's going to be about another $700-800 added on the price.
More than that.
So that machine will be over $4,000 now. You know what I mean? So we're probably looking at like $1,200. I think your karaoke machine is. So you're looking at another $1,200.
My lowest one now, my custom. One of the good things that happened to me recently is my business has managed to get a custom karaoke built. Nice. So I wanted a smaller one. I wanted it glossy white. I wanted it white glass in the front. I wanted the best CPU inside. And the company that I work with was happy to make it for me at zero cost, which is all win. Yeah,
they were like, a picture of it. Didn't you get one? You have one, right?
I sold them all already.
I'm saying you showed us one. I showed
you. And then basically what happened is they said you can have only a 10-piece minimum. I was like, great. So we ordered 10 pieces, and they all sold out already. So I'm waiting for 10 more pieces to come in.
Wow.
Yeah, I love low minimum order quantity because you never know these days. You don't want to take huge amounts of risk.
Well, it's great that you sold them, and not to mention when you sent the picture of the white one, I was like, "Damn, that looks actually."
It's cute. It's small, and the best part is it can run off SSD now, which is much lighter and less prone to failure. And you can put it in your backpack. You can take it out
and put it in your backpack.
Yeah,
just throw it back.
Throw it in your backpack.
A lot of people will rent a karaoke for $200 a day.
People will do it.
That's easy money. Yeah,
I'm telling you, Joe. For your if you do like what my Guitar Hero does. You just launch Firefox, dude, and let people go. I don't want to do that either, but you're just like you said, some people don't want to pay $1,200 for karaoke. All right, then what are you gonna do? Deal with it. I'm right now looking this up on Steam. I guess this game is called Let's Sing.
Maybe.
Well, it's no longer available on the Steam store. The fuck? but it's you need a microphone connected to your computer.
That's easy.
That's it.
I know, but now it's like it's not
I bet you
totally
that's not
easy
it.
because like if
bet
you
you
want a
that's not
good
just it.
mic,
Yeah.
and then if you want that mic to come through to the speaker, like
Right.
Nah,
I bet
yeah,
you hooking the mic up will probably work, but it probably is going to need a few things done to it for that microphone to be compatible with that game. I bet you
no,
that's
I
right.
doubt
I
it.
don't think
You know,
so. I don't know.
We all know that everything is not just that fucking
Yes,
simple.
yes,
in the
yeah,
emulation
yes.
world.
So this is my expert level, my expertise. You can hook up a mic like this, like a USB mic that we're all using to talk tonight.
Oh, you muted yourself.
You muted yourself.
Oh, I thought you muted that, Joe.
No, he muted himself.
Oh, you had like a sinister look on your face.
Totally
like-
muted yourself, like just.
No, sorry.
randomly.
There's a button on my mic that
Oh.
presses mute. But basically, we can use any mic, right? But what will happen is you're going to be singing into dead air. You're not really going to, if I'm not mistaken, on that game, you're not going to hear yourself on your speakers
No.
with any echo effects or anything. It's just going to be dry singing. That's it. And then you're just going to hear music, and then you're going to sing into the mic. You're not going to hear yourself. A real karaoke, you fucking hear yourself, obviously.
Right.
Now, my other idea is purchase Ray's karaoke system, make karaoke cabinets.
You could.
Yeah, I
mean,
could. I'm paying full price from your machine, and then I'm just throwing it in a cabinet. And
yeah,
it's a
you can make a cab with
Like
a
wood
dedicated karaoke cabinet.
Like wood
as
out,
a
yeah.
pedestal, it'd be pretty nice because you can flush mount it maybe, and then break out the button, and have nice proper PA speakers. We don't use home theater speakers or sound bars for karaoke. Only PA speakers because they can handle the pressure of the live music. Yeah, it's not a money issue. It's literally like physical hardware issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Like some crazy customer was using like $30,000 luxury speakers, but they were fucking home theater speakers. He's like, "Oh, can I sing karaoke?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can. It's gonna sound like shit though."
Oh.
I'm like, "You have $30,000 speakers, but you can buy $800 speakers. It'll sound a lot better."
Right.
Because the tweeter on your thing is only 2 inches. What the fuck you think is gonna happen? It's like trying to use a straw as a fire hose. Yeah, it'll work.
Not that good.
It's like using a Mercedes, like using it like a Lamborghini as a dump truck. Yeah, you can move some garbage in it poorly.
What an analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I built it as a pedestal, I could leave like the back of the pedestal open so you can switch your hand and hit the switch.
Yeah, that would work. You know,
that would definitely work.
Or like what I was thinking is you buy the split system, which is the desktop style one.
Right.
You put the main CPU in there with the button like flush mounted outside.
Yeah.
And then on the top you have the touchscreen as a layer. And then if you I love Vix by Vix VP like style, that pedestal style. So if you have a screen there, like you have the whole karaoke, and instead of gun holsters, you have mic holsters.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if we do I'm telling you, if you just take if you want to put your karaoke system, we just cut a hole out.
Yeah,
and then put a thing into it.
I wouldn't flush mount it. I would just have it on the side. This way I can always upgrade in the future. If I flush mount it, that means I can only mount that one.
Right. I was thinking about that too. So it's like, oh, you're right.
I would just put an HDMI switcher in there, and then I can switch to new systems. We upgrade every year, not by much, very minor difference, but just in case, I would like to upgrade. Yeah,
like if you put it to a TV, you just put it on another HDMI port.
Yeah, like for my house, like all those speakers in the back are hooked up to mixers, and then my main karaoke is in that cabinet in there. If I ever need you see that touchscreen on the floor, that big ass 22-inch screen that's stand up right there?
The black, yeah.
Yeah, that's my karaoke. Yeah, so I just changed out the CPU. The touchscreen is compatible no matter what. It's just a VGA touchscreen.
So a pedestal with the PA speakers built into it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. And mic holsters and the cup holders. For beverages, whatever. You want to be really fancy about it. Drill some holes and then put those laser projectors inside.
Oh yeah.
So when you press a button, like fucking everything's LED'd up, and then lasers come out of it. And you
we gotta make it sexy. It's gotta
that's a cheap thing. That's like freaking
strobes.
Yeah, that's like a $10 like a laser projector. That'd be awesome.
Well, dude, that fucking She-Lion gave me the idea for the marquee box of the DDR cabinet that I'm working on for designing studio lights. on the side. So if you look at the DDR marquee, it's got the 4 lights on the side. And I'm like, I don't want to put them in there because I'm like, I got to cut the box out. You got to cut out the little squares for the boxes. Like, that's like 3 hours on the CNC machine for no reason, right? Then you got to get a light that fits in it, which would be like a puck light. Then you got to hook it up. And like, that's a lot of extra parts for no fucking reason, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I was just going to do like holes in the marquee and then just add like, you know, a Govee light behind it and call it a fucking day. But no, she's like, dude, they're studio lights. And I didn't even think of that. So I went on Amazon and I looked up studio lights. They're like $35 each.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
It's like a floodlight. It's like a
colored floodlight,
flashlight,
right? So you put them on there and you can control how bright they are. Turn the brightness down a little bit on it so they just turn on for the effect. Boom, marquee's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I just got
to redesign the cabinet. That's all. So I got the cabinet designed right now as like it's 3 pieces. So it's the base, which looks like a subwoofer box, and it's going to have 2 speakers inside it. So I'm trying to hunt down an 8-inch LED speaker is what I'm trying to hunt down. I found the rings, but I'm trying to see if I can find a speaker for it at least.
Yeah, like an all built in.
Like an all built in, like what I'm using right now.
Yeah.
And then the bottom half is going to be 35 inches tall, and that's going to be the box for the subs or for the speakers. And then you're going to have the top half, which is going to have the monitor inside it and your buttons, and then you're going to have the marquee. So yeah, I have the design like in Fusion right now. I just have to kind of like finish it up a little bit. So
if you want to do like really nice karaoke cabinet, we use dedicated B&B Japanese speakers. They're not. I mean, I'm a seller of that brand, but
there we go.
Yeah, it's not that expensive, but the sound is fucking amazing.
We want the sound to be amazing.
Yeah, because when you sing, it's a fucking different game. If you use like sound bars, expensive ones, both of your voice will crack because the tweeters just can't handle the pressure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's not a money issue; it's a physical hardware issue.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna make a cabinet, if we're gonna do it
right. Yeah,
we're gonna do it. Yeah, if we're gonna add on an actual karaoke system to it, then we're gonna do this all right. You know, that's the whole point of it. You're buying a premium product.
Yeah, I sell full sets of karaoke's with a amp, mics, whatever, the high-end ones that you can open a business with for $3,800. Because I do sell a business.
We sell arcades and arcade accessories.
Yeah. My website is a very weird combination now. Like, I didn't think I was going to be doing arcade guns for half my living, and now I don't even know how to brand my website. It's like RPEG Electronics, karaoke and guns, like this, the weirdest fucking combo ever.
You never know. It might branch out to something else.
Yeah, you never know.
Sooner or later, I mean, if business is never guaranteed, so you know,
titties and beer, man.
At some point, I might do some other shit. I still do networking events once in a while for fun. I used to make money off it, but now COVID killed that easily.
You're the Retro Lizard tech support.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
You're tech support for a lot of us, honestly.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't do tech support for a living, though. Tech support is I don't want to do any service sector job anymore.
You don't want to get yelled at.
That's one, but it's too labor intensive, and it's to the point where I know how much my net worth is now, and per hour I have to make at least $200 an hour now, and just tech support service sector stuff. Even though people wouldn't pay $50 per problem, I'm like, I can sell something and make more money than that. Why the hell am I going to waste my time and headache dealing with idiots who can't even launch an app properly? That's a different story. So I'd rather
the story of our fucking life.
I always want to sell product. I always want to like make custom products. I saw Retro Shooter. While they are my competition, I'm looking at how they did it. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. You actually got a product physically fucking out there. I got pictures of the internals of their guns today. I was like, okay, it's not just a mod. It's dedicated PCBs. You guys fucking paid for it. That's very doable. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to design it. I'm only the guy that can pay for it. So when the time comes, we will do something of that sort. But it's not going to be for like a low profit margin. That's just stupid. Like,
I mean, it's whatever the profit margin is that they're doing it, they're killing it.
They're killing it. Yeah, it's just I know what the cost is because I talked to my supplier and I was like, I put the money on the table. What can I get this gun at? And their margin is like 25-30% ish, which is very weak actually for an American. if you're in China, that's great. You know, if you're just selling it, that's fine. But I'm sure they're getting a lot of tech support questions and a lot of bullshit. Like there's always gonna be idiot customers when you get to that price point, like, you know, like an Aimtrack price point, which is what they're at right now, pretty much.
Right. And
I'm like, all right, do I want to deal with that as a one-man team, one-man, you know, person, or maybe two people with JB at most? Not really.
No.
I'd rather
you gotta do customer service and tech support no matter what.
Right. Yeah, but I'd rather deal with less customers, higher margin. I slept 14 hours today. I've been drinking for 2 days straight at my friend's wedding. Right? I like my life the way I don't want to have to like wake up and fucking any desk into people's computer all day. That's a little.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. It's stressful.
And then you're fucking on call nonstop.
Let's kill the stream, guys, because we're going at 2:15. I want to go to bed.
2 weeks. We'll see
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We'll see if we make it in 2 weeks. Otherwise, we'll see you in a month.
Okay.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.